Okay, so in this video, I will discuss another trial paper. So today we are discussing the Matematik trial paper. Is the Kedah trial 2024 and is the paper 2. I already did the paper 1. Last video was me going through the paper 1 working. So this time I will go through all the working for the paper 2 questions. Okay, so I will straight away start. Number one, let's read the question. Diagram one shows PQRSTU is a polygon. So we can see it, it's a polygon. And TUV is a straight line. So TUV is a straight line. Oh, so we can find Y straight away. It will be 50, right? Because 180 minus 130, right? Because straight line means the total angle is 180. And another thing to take note here, they got mentioned something about polygon, right? But you have to know the difference between polygon and regular polygon. Regular polygon means all sides will be same length. But this question, they never mention regular. Okay, regular in bahasa Melayu is polygon sekata. Okay, sekata. So ini bukan polygon sekata. Maksudnya dia punya side panjang sini tak sama, right? That is why all the angle also tak sama. You know, there's 100, there's 90, 130, yeah. So all the angle tak sama sebab panjang dia pun tak sama. So A says what? Name the type of an angle for Y. So they never ask you to find Y. They just want you to name the type of angle, right? So I will tell you the type of angle that you need to know. The first type of angle you need to know is the acute angle, right? Acute angle. Let me write in bahasa Melayu also, sudut tirus. And acute angle, how you know it's an acute angle? When the angle is less than 90, right? So what if the angle is more than 90? Well, we call it obtuse, obtuse angle. Dalam bahasa Melayu, kita panggil sudut cakah, sudut cakah. And sudut cakah ni macam mana? Dia punya sudut mesti in between 90 and 180. Maksudnya, your angle has to be bigger than 90 but smaller than 180, means in between, right? So I will even write the quadrant here. For acute angle, it will be quadrant 1, right? But obtuse is quadrant 2, right? And let's talk about reflex angle. Reflex angle is when your, in Bahasa Melayu, is also called reflex. It's just the spelling becomes, the spelling, the spelling is a little bit different. And the angle is between 180 and 360. That means quadrant 3 and quadrant 4. It means when it's in between 180 360, we call the angle a reflex angle, right? So now let's do A. Name the type of angle for Y. Y is 50 degree, obviously it's less than 90, so obviously it's an acute angle, right? And if you want to write in Bahasa Melayu, yeah, you can write sudut tirus. Okay, so this is only worth 1 marks, that's all. Let's do B. Find the value of X plus Y. So Y I already know is 50, so that one easy already. But X I don't know, right? So how to find X? Okay, first of all, you need to count got this polygon how many sides, right? Because later you already have all the other angle, right? The only angle that you're trying to find is X, right? So what we can do is we can count got how many sides and then use the sum of interior angle formula. Okay, what is sum of interior angle? In Bahasa Melayu is jumlah sudut dalam. Interior means dalam, okay? Sudut dalam. So what is interior? Sudut dalam. So there is a formula to find sum of interior angle is n minus 2 times 180. So this formula is used to find jumlah sudut dalam satu polygon. But the n you have to ganti with how many side? Okay, berapa bilangan tepi dia. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So if got 6 sides, that means your sum of interior angle, your jumlah angle dalam polygon tu akan jadi 6 minus 2 times 180. And press calculator, you get 720, right? But this is the jumlah all the angle inside tambah semua. But if you want to find X, you still have to do something. You have to take the jumlah, which is 720, minus the remaining 6 angle. Sorry, the remaining 5 angles. Okay, because got 5 angle give already. So minus 100, minus 170, okay, and then minus the 90, minus 130, and then minus 90, right? And once you do that, you will get your final X answer. So let me press my calculator now. 620 minus 170 minus 180 minus 130. Okay, I'm done pressing my calculator and I get 140. So this is my angle X. Now I have my angle X and Y. Now I can finally find the X plus Y. So I'll just write here, X plus Y is equivalent to 140 plus 50 because Y is 50 and the final answer will be 190 degree. So you get 2 marks for this, all right? Okay, what I write up here is just the nota, okay? You don't have to write down this during the exam. And this is just a nota I write for you. So when you do it in an exam, you just write the working. So you only show them this. Okay, then you get full mark already, right? Okay, all right, let's continue. Okay, number two, let's read the question. Diagram 2 in the answer space shows a square ABCD. Okay, let's have a look. ABCD is a square. Okay, seems like it. Right. And then what else? Drawn on a square grid with side 1 unit. Okay, so it's important to know all this square grid is like 1 unit, 1 unit. Okay, no problem. So far, nothing important here. MNRS are midpoint of AB, BC, CD, AD. So MNRS midpoint, let's see. Let's go to the diagram. So MNRS midpoint. Okay, okay. Can. Everything makes sense now. Everything is good now. And then what else? O is the intersection of MR and SN. Okay, what is this? O in the center is intersection of MR and SN. Okay, not important also. This one tak penting pun. And then they say X and Y are 2 points that move in. Okay, this one keyword. When you see the word move, it means this is a locus. This is a locus. Locus is moving point. So they say X and Y are two moving point in the diagram. So if you look at your diagram, you can't see X and Y because the X and Y is the locus that you need to draw. It's the moving point that you need to draw, right? But you cannot simply draw, of course. You have to read the condition, right? Because later they will tell you how the point X move and how the point Y move. And you have to draw according to the condition they give us, right? So it's okay. Let's do it together. So we already know X and Y is the one that we need to draw, right? So let's read the A now. On the diagram in the answer space, draw. See, they start to ask you to draw already. So draw the locus. I already tell you locus is moving point. So they want to draw X that is constantly 2 units from O, right? So if it's constantly 2 units from O, it means that it will form a circle around O and the radius will be 2 units. Because if you want to move a point and you want it to be always 2 units from a fixed point, then it will be a circle, right? So I want you to use a compass to do this question, but I cannot show you using compass obviously, so I'll just draw it like this lah. Okay, so uh just draw it and make sure you open the compass 2 unit because the radius is 2 unit, right? So something like this, right? So let me put it nicely. Okay, I think this is good, right? So yeah, okay. So as you can see, the moving point locus X is constantly 2 units from O. See, it's always 2 unit, 2 unit, 2 unit, 2 unit, 2 unit. That's why you have to use a compass. You have to open your compass, and then the compass, the tajam punya part, you have to cucuk at the O, and then the pencil, you have to tarik 2 unit, and then draw a full circle like this, right? Use a compass, and then afterwards, you label, right? And what do we label this? Locus X. Because that's the this is the locus X lah, the circle, right? So done already. Now I will use another color to draw the second locus. So number 2 says what? You want to draw the locus of Y. So this time you're drawing moving point Y, which move. Okay, now they tell you the condition already. So the Y is moving such a way that what's the condition? Distance is constantly 3 unit from line CD. Okay, this one you don't tell me you draw circle. No, 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 no. If the distance is 2 unit from one point. If it's 1 point, then you will draw circle, right? If it's 1 point. But this one is distance 3 unit from a line. It's from a line, right? So let's talk about the locus a bit. So I need some space. So okay, I think I can. Okay, I'll just do it here. All right. So if they give you a point, you do a circle. Okay, you do a circle, and they will tell you the radius, how long they want. Okay, you have to read the question. But if they give you 2 points, if they give you 2 points, don't draw a circle, draw perpendicular bisector. What is perpendicular bisector? Pembahagi dua sama serenjang. It means you will cut it in half. But if your 2 points is like this, then your perpendicular bisector will be somewhere here lah, right? And make sure it's like betul-betul cut it in half one. And you need compass to draw this actually. You have to cucuk here and then lukis kiri, lukis kanan, and then cucuk here, lukis kiri, lukis kanan, and then join. Because if you don't use compass, you will not get the accurate, how to say, you will not cut it in half exactly, right? So it's important to use compass to get the exact, how to say, make sure it's like accurate. Okay, this one is kalau 1 point, this one is kalau 2 point. Okay, the next one is kalau dia bagi satu line. Okay, if kalau dia bagi satu line, you have to draw two lines. You have to draw two lines. Okay, satu atas, satu bawah. But they will tell you the distance, right? They will tell you the jarak here, okay, in the soalan, right? Then what if they give you two lines? What if they give you two lines? Okay, if they give you two lines, you will draw one in the middle. Okay, if you do one in the middle. Okay, so yeah, actually, this is the how to say, the main four types of question that can come out lah. All right. Oh, another one is like they give you an angle lah, and then you will draw a bisector, right? This one also you need to use compass, right? Because you can't cut it in half accurately if you don't use compass. You have to cucuk here, lukis atas, lukis bawah, and then cucuk here, lukis sini, cucuk here, lukis sini, and then draw it. Okay, and this line will be like exactly half of it lah. Okay, and you need compass, right? You need to bring compass to your exam. Okay, so this is the main five types of locus that you need to be familiar with, right? First one, let me repeat. If they give you 1 point, draw a circle. If they give you 2 points, cut it in cut in half, right? And draw a line, and this line is called the perpendicular bisector. What if they give you a line then? If a line, you draw two lines, okay, up and down, right? And then what if they give you two lines? Then you draw one in the middle, okay, cut it in the middle. And then if they give you an angle like this, you draw bisector. Uh, okay, you need to use compass lah. Okay, let's look at number one now. Number one, they say constantly 2 units from O. So that's why I draw a circle lah, because it's like they give you 1 point, right, from O. So that's why you draw a circle, and the center will be O, the radius will be 2 units. So that one is the first type. But the second question, they said distance constantly 3 units from CD. So CD is a line, right? So what do you think? It must be this one, right? They give you a line, and then you have to draw two lines. So that's what I need to do now, right? I need to draw two lines away from CD, away from CD, and the distance must be 3 units from CD. So let's find out where is CD first. So CD is this horizontal line. Do you agree? Is this horizontal line, right? So if you want to draw two lines away from CD 3 units, then you just count out 1, 2, 3, and then just draw a line, right? So let's use a ruler here. Okay, so just draw like this, right? But that you need to draw another one that is down here, right? Which is also 3 units. The distance here must be 3 units also. But I will not do that because it's already outside the diagram, right? And yeah, we just have to draw within the diagram. But I still want you to know that actually there is still another line here. There's another line down here, which is also 3 units below the CD line. Okay, but I'm gonna erase this because it's not within the diagram anymore. So there's no point if you draw it like down here, right? Okay, so that's the answer. And don't forget to label this, call this the locus Y, right? Okay, now I'm done with my A1, A2, and then I get 2 marks for this. Now let's see B, what they want. Hence, mark with this symbol the intersection of locus X and locus Y. So intersection means the persilangan, right? The persilangan. So where did the locus X and locus Y, they intersect each other? Here and here, right? So you just put a circle and then put this symbol, right? And then you get 1 mark. Okay, so that's it, right? Hope you understand. And make sure you're familiar with all the locus, all the different types of locus that you need to draw. Okay, so this is my notes for you lah. Okay, hope you understand. All right, let's continue with number 3. What chapter is this? I think it's a variation. Yeah, I see the word already. Okay, let's read. Emilia is the owner of a sewing shop. Among the services offered at her shop is sewing shirts. Given that the number of shirts and varies directly with the number of workers P and varies inversely with a time period T. So when we are doing variation question, we will always write the variation first, right? Write the variation, right? So let's do that. So if they say N, I will write N. They said varies directly with P, it means I will write varies and then P tulis atas because directly, okay? And then if they say varies inversely, I have to write down. It means the T I have to tulis bawah macam ni, right? So this is step 1, okay? So I'll write here, okay, wait, okay, I'll just write here. So step 1 is getting the variation, right? Step 2 is you convert the variation to equation, and how we do that is we convert this variation symbol to equals, and you have to add a constant, and the constant we will usually use k, right, to represent the constant. And then step 3 is just to find k, but I will put star here. If you want to find k, you have to have the full information, right? Full information or the complete information. Okay, you sub in the full information inside, then you can find k. And then step 4 is to rewrite. Okay, so it doesn't matter how they ask the question or in which state paper they ask, when we do variation, it's always this 4 step. Okay, this is always the main 4 step that you have to follow. Okay, sometimes the question will have step number 5 one, right? Step number 5 is when they don't want, they after you do all this, after you rewrite, then they ask you to find something else, right? Then you have to do step 5 lah. Okay, but it's okay. The one sometimes only they ask, right? Okay, now let's do A first. So they want you to express n in terms of p and t, right? It means they want you to do until step 4 lah. Yeah, because if they want n in terms of p and t, you need to convert this to equal, and then you have to find k, or else how can you write this, right? So let's do that. So n equals this variation symbol can tukar equal, and then k times with p over t. But you can actually do it fast. You can straight away write the k atas like this, because when you take k times p over t, it means the k will darab atas sahaja, right? So this is how it looks like. This is how how my working looks like now. Okay, and now we can go to step 3, which is to find k. And how we do that? We have to substitute gantikan the full information inside. So do you agree? If I want to find k, I need to have all information, which is n, p, and t. Saya kena ada tiga benda ni, n, p, t. Kalau satu tak ada pun tak boleh cari. Okay, if you don't have one of these, then you can't find k. So you need to have all of this, right? So the question will definitely must give us these 3, the full information, or else I can't do it, right? So actually they got give us, okay? It's just that I didn't read it just now. So they give it in here, right? So 2 workers sew 6 shirts in 3 hours. So I recommend you read again what the n represents, what the p represents, and what the t represents, so that you don't substitute the wrong silap substitute, or you like the terbalik substitute, right? So let's read one more time. What is n? N represents number of shirts, right? And I even recommend writing the unit kalau boleh, kalau ada unit. Okay, but this one number of shirts tak ada unit, so no need lah. And then p is like number of workers, so number of workers tak ada unit also, because it's like bilangan orang. And then time period, they never give us unit. But sometimes I got pernah see the question they will want this in hours, right? But then the information they give us is in minutes or seconds. Then you have to be very careful, because you have to convert the unit to whatever unit they want. Then only you can substitute inside, right? But if they never give unit, then it's fine lah. Like this question they never give, right? So now we can read this question: 2 workers, 6 shirts, 3 hours. So what do you think is 2? 2 is worker. Worker is P. So definitely P is 2. And then 6 shirts. Shirts, I already said N represents number of shirts. So N is 6. And then 3 hours, which is the T, the time, right? So now you see why is it important to write this one, right? Because if you don't write this, you don't know what is N, right? Maybe you go and seal up the N, you go and put 2, then gone already your marks, right? So make sure you know what all the unknown represents before you substitute. Okay, so now we can substitute everything inside. N is 6, right? And then P is 2, T is 3. Okay, so this is the correct way. Now we can find K. This 3 duduk bawah means bahagi. Bahagi kalau hantar jadi darab. And then 2 duduk atas means darab hantar jadi bahagi. It means divide jadi times jadi divide lah. And then if you press this, you will get 9. Okay, now we can rewrite. Step number 4 is rewrite. So rewrite, we have to tengok balik this baris and then rewrite the whole thing. So n equals kp over t, but your k is 9, so it will be 9p over t. Okay, this is the answer for A. Because A, they ask you to express n in terms of p and t, and that's the answer. Okay, what about B? What about B? B says what? How many workers are needed to sew 27 shirts in 4 hours? It means this question, they ask for step 5. Just now I told you, right? Sometimes they ask for step 5. So can you tell me, this question, they want to find workers, right? So it means they want to find N, or they want to find P, or they want to find T. They want to find P. They want to find P. So I will continue from my A answer, which is N equals 9P over T. Yeah. Okay. Because you need to do the 4 step before you reach the step 5, right? But we don't have to do it already. Just now A do it already. So we can just continue from here. And remember what they want now? They want the P. And can you tell me, if they want the P, they need to give us what? They need to give us N and T, right? Otherwise, I can't. Otherwise, how can I find P, right? If they never give me the N and T, right? So let's keep reading. 27 shirts, 4 hours. 27 is the N lah, because N represents number of shirts. So this is 27. You don't go and put 27 down here. It's wrong. The 27 is here. And then 4 hours, that's the T lah, the time. So that must be 4. So now you can find P. just take 27 and then you pindah like just now lah. 4 is like divide 4, pindah jadi times 4. This one is times 9, pindah jadi divide 9. And then you just press, you get 12, right? That means how many workers? 12 workers. So you can write again like this, and then you should, yeah, you should be able to get full mark if you write like this. Okay. All right. So that's all. Now we will keep going. Okay, let's go to question number 4. So this looks like a Cukai punya soalan, text punya soalan. Okay, let's read. Adam owns a residential house in Jitra. Okay, given that the annual value, okay, nilai tahunan of his house is 7250 and the property assessment tax rate is 4%. So you see the word already, property assessment tax. So definitely this is a property assessment tax question, right? So I will write down the formula for property assessment tax. So where should I write it? Okay, I need space. So let me use this space. Okay, so I'll use this space to give you my nota, right? So property assessment tax for 1 year. You need to know the formula, huh? So, hey, I realized something, in trial question, they like to ask property assessment tax. Yeah, because this is not the first time already. I think they come out in the Negeri Sembilan state paper also, they asked about property assessment tax. So you need to make sure you really know how to do it, right? And this is not the first time I'm telling this formula already, like many times already. Because every time when I do trial paper, it is always comes up, right? Okay, so the formula is like this. You take the annual value times with the property assessment tax rate. I'm sure if you watch my video regularly, you already get bored listening to me talking about this already, because I say about this so many times in my other videos, because this always comes up and I always repeat myself, right? But it's okay. I'll repeat one more time for you. Yeah. So one thing I have to tell you is the property assessment tax rate is in percent, right? And then the annual value, not many people know this, is actually the monthly rent times 12, right? Why is it important to know this? Because sometimes the question don't give you annual value, they will give you monthly rent, right? Then what you do, you just times 12 to get the annual value. Then only you can use this formula, right? Okay, so understand, huh? But for this question, they already give you cantik already, the annual value, which is 7250. So you don't have to do much. You just take 7250, multiply with the rate, and it's 4%, right? So it will be 4 over 100. Okay, and then what they want, calculate property assessment tax payable by Adam each year. It means for 1 year. So yeah, this formula is like for 1 year. But you have to be careful. Sometimes they ask for like half a year. Yeah, memang ada soalan macam ni. Yeah, they ask for half year, right? Then maybe you have to divide two, all right? So you have to be careful. Just remember this. Just remember that this formula is to calculate for 1 year, right? Okay, so let me press this to get my so that I get my answer. Okay, let's press 7250 times 4 divide 100. Okay, my calculator give me 290, and make sure you write RM lah, because this is like a money, right? Yeah, it's like the amount you have to pay. So this is worth 2 marks. Okay, so that's all. That's the answer. Now let's continue with B. Okay, this question I put star for you. Okay, why I put star? Because this question is the infamous question. Okay, when I teach in my class, I call this the infamous question. Why I call this infamous question? Because this is the question that very seldom come out, but when it comes out, most students don't know how to do it, right? But I teach in my class before. I call this the electricity bill question, because it's about electricity bill. Okay, so I'll write down here the electricity bill question. Okay, the infamous electricity bill question. Okay, and I remember teaching this to my own students so clearly, like because I know when it comes out, students don't know how to butcher this. Students don't know how to read this. Okay, so okay, let's do this question now. All right. So let's read. Adam. Oh, and let me tell you, this one is under which chapter? It's under taxation cukai, and it's under the sales and service tax, right? And if you go through your textbook, memang ada satu example yang uh, ex, uh ada satu example about the electricity bill question one, right? Okay, tak apa, let's do it now. Adam has used 694 kilowatt hour of electricity bill in February. So this is the how much he used in total. And then they say, given that the usage exceeding 600 within amount will be subjected a service tax of 6%. So when they come out, electricity bill is always like that one. It's always exceeding a certain amount, have to pay 6%. And then table 4 shows Adam home electricity bill in February. So what you need to do now is, you go to the tariff block, and then you try to see where it starts when you start to add, and then you try to see where you when will you get 600, right? So 200 plus 100 is 300. 300 plus 300 is 600. It means this is the cutoff, right? This is the cutoff. That means the if you use more than this, then you will get charged 6% service tax. Okay, because if you add all this, you get 600, right? And then now Adam already used 694. Okay, so um he will get charged a 6% of service tax later lah. Okay, for the extra amount. Okay, okay, Tupper, let's try to do number one first. Number one says calculate the value of M. Okay, so I'll do it up here lah. So actually to find M is very easy. You will just take 0.546 times 94. Okay, because all this amount come from the rate times with the prorated block, right? Yeah, all of this come from this. So 200 times this one, you will get this one. This one times this one, you get this. This one times this one, you get this. So M also 94 times 0.546. And then you just press calculator, right? So you wait for me, I press. Okay, my calculator give me 51.324. But since this is RM, you don't have to write 324. You just write 51.32. Okay, because RM always two decimal place, right? So this is 51 ringgit 32 cents. Okay, now let's do B, question 2. The amount of bill Adam has to pay in February. So if you want to know the amount have to pay, you have to focus here, okay, on the amount column, right? So the amount he has to pay is 43 ringgit 60 cents, because that's the first 200 usage, the amount you have to pay for the first 200 usage. And then the next 100, he has to pay like 33 ringgit 40 cents. And then the next 300, you have to pay 154 ringgit 80 cents. And then the next 94 usage, he has to pay 51 ringgit 32 cents. But don't forget, plus with the service tax, because the service tax will charge for the amount exceeding 600, which is the 94 here, right? So what I have to do is I have to plus with the 6% times with 51.32, because the 6% only charge for usage exceeding 600. It means this one lah, this one, the one down here lah. So it means that you have to take 6% of 51 ringgit 32 cents. This is to calculate the service tax, right? And then plus with the rest of the amount. So this is how you do it, right? Okay, so now I will press my calculator. So let's press 6% times 51.32 first. So let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 3.0792. So 3.08 lah. Okay. But so this one, if you press, you get 3.08. But actually it's 0792. So now I'll use the answer button and then plus everything. So let me press answer plus 51.32 plus 154.8 plus 33.4 plus 43.6. Okay, I get it already. 286.1992. But it's in RM, so don't write so many decimal places, just write 2 decimal. So 2 decimal place means it will be 286.20, because it's 1992, right? So it's like 199, so plus 1, so 286 ringgit 20 cents, right? So that's the amount that Adam has to pay in February. Okay, and don't forget to write RM, right? So that's the answer. Okay, let's keep going. Number 5. Diagram 5 shows a host reel system at a school. Okay, so you can see it. Okay, no problem. Aizat was assigned to conduct fire drills during the first week of the school session. So this is Aizat, and he wants to conduct the fire drill. Okay, so nothing important here, right? So this one, no information here. So let's just keep going. Let's just read down what they write down here. Okay, given what? The length of the hose pipe is 30 feet. Okay, this one important. This one important. So what does it mean by the length of hose pipe is 30 feet? I think what it means is this length here, the panjang here, right? But actually, there's still, how to say? There's still a lot of hose remaining here, right? But if you pull the maximum, pull until maximum, then the length is 30 feet. I think that's what it means, right? So now they say, what is the maximum distance of Aizat's position during a fire demonstration? And they even tell you here 1 feet is equivalent to 30.48 cm. Okay, so I think I need to take 30 feet times with the 30.48 lah. You understand, right? Because the maximum distance, because we already know the maximum length of the hose is 30 feet. It means this hose, if you pull it, it can go until 30 feet maximum. That's the maximum length, right? So the maximum distance of IZ position from the hose will be also 30 feet lah. But they want in cm, right? So you just convert lah. 1 feet is 30.48. 30 feet will be 30 times 30. Right? And let's press calculator. My calculator give me 914.4. So I think that's the answer, right? And now you already successfully changed to cm. So you just write 914.4 cm and you get 1 mark for this. Okay, so this is quite easy. This is quite easy. Okay, what about B? What they want? Given the circumference. Circumference is called means lilitan. Okay, lilitan of the holder of the hose drum is 220 cm. So this is the hose drum, right? And then they say the circumference. Circumference is called lilitan. Lilitan means it's like the perimeter lah, or you can say like the panjang here, the outside panjang here. So it's 220 cm the circumference. And then they say find the radius of the holder drum. It means they want to find the radius here, right? Okay, actually this one you have to use a formula. The formula for circumference is 2 pi r, or if you learn in Bahasa Melayu, is 2 pi j. Okay, but it's the same thing lah. R and j is both jari, the radius. So for the C circumference, I already know is 220 cm, right? And then the 2 pi r, pi they never say use 3.142 or anything, but I'll just use 22/7 lah. And then times with radius. For the radius I want to find, right? So you can find it, just use calculator and press this. So how you press? Okay, first I recommend you press 2 times 22/7 first. So okay, let me write nicely here. So 2 times 22/7, it will be 44/7, right? Because you just darab atas, and then this is 220. And now to get the radius, you just take 220, divide 7, become times 7, times 54, become divide 54. And now you press this whole thing to get your final answer. So let me press. Uh, okay, my calculator give me 35, right? 35. So the radius is 35 cm lah. So they say what? Find the radius, right? So I'll just write radius is 35 centimeters, right? So this soalan is quite easy. Okay, so that's all. Okay, let's continue. Number 6. Diagram 6 shows the net of cuboid. What is net? Net means you open up the 3D shape. So cuboid looks like this, right? Like this, like this, like this, like this, right? Cuboid. So if you open it up, then that we call this a net, right? Okay, so what it says here, express the volume V of the cuboid in terms of X. So they want to find volume, right? The volume of cuboid is to take the length times width times height, right? And they give us some length here, right? But let's double check whether which one is the length. So this one, I think is 3x minus 4. You agree, right? Because when you fold this up, then this will be 3x minus 4. This will also be 3x minus, actually all this is 3x minus 4, right? So that's the length lah, because this length is this one, right? Then what about the 2x plus 3? I think the 2x plus 3, when you fold it up, it will be this line, right? Yeah, because it's up here, right? So yeah, this is the length here. And don't forget, this is also 2x plus 3. This is also 2x plus this one. So this 4 will be 2x plus 3. So that's the width, the lebar. And then the 5, when you fold it up, it will be standing up. So standing up, this is 5, right? So now you have all the length, all the width, all the height. So no problem, you can find the volume easily. Just use the formula, length times width times height, ataupun panjang darab lebar darab tinggi. So I will just write V here. Just take 5 times 3x minus 4 times 2x plus 3. Okay, this is how you find volume. Okay, it's okay if you don't have the x, because they already say here in terms of x. So you don't need the x. You don't need to find the x, right? Maybe B only they want to find, right? So A, you don't need to do that. Just expand and then you get the answer. Okay, 5 times 3x is 15x. 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. But you still have to times with 2x plus 3. So let's do it now. Expand 15x times 2x, that is 30x. And then x times x is x squared, right? Okay, the next one is 15x times 3. 15 times 3, press calculator, 45x. Negative 20 times 2 is negative 40x. And then this one expand like this, you get negative 60. Okay, now x and x boleh buat. X dengan x boleh buat. So 45 minus 40 is plus 5x minus 60. So I think this is the volume of cuboid in terms of x. And let's write the unit just to be safe, cm cube. Okay, but I will put bracket like this, right? Because the whole thing is the volume, right? Okay, so now I'm done with A already. So this is both 1 marks. Now let's do B. So I will do my B working here. So they say if the volume is 440, calculate the value of x. And the 440 is also in cm cube. And the one I did at A also in cm cube, right? But this one is in terms of x. But since they are both volume, so they both can equal. So 30x squared plus 5x minus 60, the whole thing equals 440, right? So now you can find value of x, right? Because it's a quadratic equation, right? You just solve this quadratic equation, okay? Okay, so when you see got square in your equation, got power 2, you have to bring everything to one side equals 0. Because that's how you solve quadratic equation. You have to susun jadi general form and then press calculator. So 30x squared plus 5x, bring this over here, become minus 60 negative 60 minus 440 is negative 500, right? And now you can use calculator. But before you use calculator, do you realize 35 and 500, all these numbers can divide 5, right? So let's kecilkan. Let's divide everything by 5. So kecilkan, divide 5, 6, divide 5, 1, divide 5, 100. And then now only you press calculator, and then the calculator will give you 2x answer. Okay, so let me press. I hope you know how to press. Menu, polynomial degree. A is 6, B is 1, C negative 100. Okay, my calculator give me two answer, 4 and negative 25/6, right? So you need to learn how to tekan this, just key in the ABC. Okay, but you need to leave how to say, kosong satu baris here, because you need to write bracket equals 0. The first bracket you have to write what? X, okay, the plus 4 you have to move it back, jadi minus 4. It means you have to do it in reverse. You have to do it backwards. So the divide 6 becomes 6 times 6, minus become plus 25 like this, right? Memang macam tu lah. You kena tukar tanda, right? Okay, now X has two answers, right? But I don't think X can be two value at the same time, right? It's either 4 or negative 25/6. So which one do you think I will reject? Which answer I will reject? The negative one, right? I will reject negative one. Okay. But a lot of students, they thought like, oh, sir, just reject the negative one. Hey, no, it's not always you reject the negative one. Sometimes you will reject the positive one. So, macam mana nak tahu whether which one to reject? You have to sub inside here or sub inside here, see what you get. Then only you can know which one to reject. So imagine x is 4. If you ganti x is 4, 4 times 2, 8, 8 plus 3, 11. 11 cm makes sense. What about 4 times 3, 12, 12 minus 4, 8. 8 is also makes sense. But if you ganti negative 25/6, what happens here? 2 times negative 25/6 plus 3. And if you press this whole thing, you will get, let's press 25/6 plus 3. Okay, my calculator give me negative 16/3, which is impossible. How can the panjang be negative? Panjang tak ada negative, right? That is why I reject the negative, right? So my point here is, don't simply reject. You have to sub inside first. Then do the whole thing, sub inside, see what you get afterwards. Then only you choose which one to reject. There are times where you need to reject the negative. There are times where you need to reject the positive answer, right? Because you don't know how the question give you in the soalan, right? Because sometimes maybe it's like x minus 5, right? X minus 5. Then if it's like this, then you have to reject the 4 already. Because 4 minus 5 is negative 1, right? Okay lah. So you get my point lah. So it's like you need to sub in first to check. Okay. So the soalan asks for value of x. So sudah siap. That's my answer. Okay. So 4 cm. Sudah siap. Okay. Let's continue. Okay, number 7 is a probability question. So let's go. Rafi was selected to represent his school in an athletics tournament for the 100-meter and long jump. So got two acara here, 100-meter and long jump. The probability of Rafi winning the 100-meter is 0.37. So I can write down here, probability of winning 100-meter is 0.37, right? And then the other one is what? Long jump winning is 0.56. So probability of winning long jump is 0.56. Wait, let me make this smaller. So winning long jump is 0.56. Okay, and then it says calculate the probability A, Rafi does not win in 100-meter. Okay, if the probability of winning is 0.37, then what is the probability of not winning, or you can say losing, right? So does not win, so winning here I just write losing. So losing 100-meter, it will be 1 minus 0.37, and if you press calculator, you will get 0.63. And then let's find out the probability of losing long jump also. Okay, that's not how you spell this. So LOS, losing long jump. So what is 1 minus 0 0.56? 0 0.44, right? 0 0.44. So now only I'll start doing A. This is not my A. This is just my, uh, I'm just preparing for later. This one. This working is I'm just preparing for later. So when I do my A, I don't need all this. I only need this. Because they only ask for does not win 100 meters. So the working is 1 minus 0 0.37, which is 0 0.63. Okay, show them how you get the 0.63 lah. Okay, that's all. What about B? Roughly win only in one event. So you need to write down all the possibility. When you do probability, I always recommend students to write down all the possibility, because sometimes you will miss out one of the possibility, right? So it's important to write down all the possibility first. So what's all the possibility? So maybe he will win both, right? Win both acara, okay? Or maybe win lose. It means he win the 100 meter, but then he lose the long jump. Or maybe lose win, right? It means he lose the first acara 100 meter, but then he win the second one, right? Or maybe both also lose, right? So this is all the possibility: win, 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 lose, lose, win, lose, lose. Okay, but you don't have to do all of this. You only do what the question wants, right? So the question only wants win only one event. It means you will only do this one and this one, right? Because they say win only one event. They never say less than one or more than one. They say exactly one event. So if you win exactly one event, it means you have to find the probability of this, and then plus together, right? So I will open two brackets here. One bracket is for winning first, losing second. The second bracket is for losing the first acara, winning the second acara, right? So how can I get the probability of winning first acara? Then I just look here, I just refer up here. So it's 0.37, right? And then times with the second one losing will be, don't take 0.63, you have to take 0.44, because the losing here is for the second acara. Okay, so the first acara he won, so 0.37 times with 0.44, losing the second. And then the other possibility is losing the first acara, so losing 100 meter, so 0.63 times with winning the second acara, 0.56, right? And then you just add them together, right? Oh, but by the way, I also want to mention this one, we call it independent events. Independent, because the probability of winning, losing is not will not get affected in the second time, right? Okay lah. So okay lah, tak apa. Let's press the calculator and see what we get. So 0.37 times 0.44. Okay, this one is 0.1628. And then 0.63 plus 0.56. This is 1.19. And then tambah everything. Okay, my calculator give me 1.3528. Wait, did I do wait, I think I did something wrong. 0.37 times 0.4. Okay, wait, 0.63 times 0.56. Okay, I made a careless mistake here. This is not 1.19. This is, yeah, where got probability more than one? Okay, like I silap tekan lah. Sorry. Okay, 0.3528, and then plus with 0.1628. Okay, I get it already. It's 0.5156. Okay, you can write in fraction also if you want. In fraction would be 1289 over 500. Okay, can also. But since this question give in decimal, that's why I just follow. I also write in decimal, because the soalan also give in decimal, right? Okay, so that's how you get full mark. Okay. Okay, now we are at question number 8. Let's read the question. Determine the true value of the following compound statement. What is compound statement? Compound statement is when two single statement combine into one statement. Then we call it compound statement. It means compound statement is actually a combination of two statements. And if it's combined by two statements, it means it will have two separate true value. What is the meaning of having two separate true value? It means in one sentence, there is two statement, so there will be two separate true value. Okay, it can be true and true, or true false, or false true, or false false, right? So let's read the statement now. 9 is a factor of 18, so this is the first statement, right? And a perfect square, but I think the perfect square is also referring to 9 is perfect square, because it's like 9 is factor of 18 and a perfect square. So 9 is the second statement is also referring to 9 lah. It's also cakap pasal 9. So this is my first statement. 9 is factor of 18. The second statement is 9 is perfect square, right? So two different statements. So they will have two different true value, right? So if the middle word is n, if the middle word here is n, then it has to be both true, then only it can be true at the end. Because if there's n in the middle, it has to be both true. Because if it's n here, salah satu false, then the whole thing become false already. Kalau n lah. Tapi kalau they use the word or, combine the statement, if they use the word or to combine the statement, you just need one of it to be true, then the whole thing becomes true already. Because if or means like salah satu true, then boleh lah. Okay. Tapi kalau dua-dua false, then false lah. Okay. So if it's all like one of it true, then the whole thing true already. Okay. So now it's n. But tak apa, let's write down this one true or false first. 9 is a factor of 18. Yeah, this is true. Because when you list down all the factors of 18, yeah, 9 is one of it, right? Because 18 can divide 9. Okay, so hope you understand. Now, what about 9 is perfect square? Yeah, this is true also. Perfect square means number yang when you square root, you will get a integer. Okay. So square root 9 is 3, right? So you get a nice number 3. So that's a perfect square. So they are both true, right? Okay, if they are both true, we don't care about the middle word really, because if they are both true, automatic confirm the whole thing, the whole compound statement will be true also. So I'll just write true here, and then I'll get 1 mark already. Okay. Because if both statement is true, we don't care. Doesn't matter whether they write n here, but whether we don't care. Doesn't matter whether they combine using the word n ataupun or, it will still be true at the end because both true, right? So yeah. Okay, hope you understand. Let's do B. Write down two implications from the following statement. So PQRS is a regular polygon if and only if PQ equals QR equals RS equals PS. This type of question is very common in the exam. It's very easy. It's very easy. You don't have to use your brain. This one, you just follow the format. If they ask you to write down two implication, and then when you see this word, if and only if, all you need to do is for the implication 1, implication 2, all you need to do is you just circle what they write at the in front here and circle what they write in the back here, and then you just write if depan then belakang, and then the other one is if belakang then depan, and then you get 3 marks. Yeah, you don't even need to think about the content. You don't have to think about whether it's true or false. You don't care. We don't care. Unless they got say write down true value lah, but they never say. So it's like, yeah, just very easy. So the formula, it should be if depan then belakang. So if depan, what's depan? PQRS is a regular polygon, comma, then this whole thing PQ equals QR equals RS equals PS. That's all. That's the implication 1. What's implication 2? If belakang then depan. So if PQRS, PQ equals QR equals RS equals PS, comma, then you write whatever in front here. Depan, PQRS is a regular polygon, right? So that's all. Sudah 2 markah, you get free. It's like 3 marks. Okay. So I mentioned again one more time. If you see the word if and only if, and you write down two implication, you just ignore the if and only if, circle what's depan and circle what's belakang, and then just write if depan then belakang, if belakang then depan, then siap already. Okay. All right. So this is quite easy. Nothing to teach here. It's just about like learning the format. Okay. Okay. Let's do C now. Diagram 8 shows a partially completed deductive argument that is valid. Right? So what is valid deductive argument? Got 3 forms, right? Okay, I need space here. Okay, I think I'll write it down here, right? So valid deductive argument. Okay, so deductive, yeah, I'll just write deductive. All right, so we have 3 form. Okay, 3 form. So we have form number 1, form number 2, form number 3. So form number 1 will look like this. Premise 1, all A are B. And then premise 2, C is A. And then conclusion, C is B. This is the form number 1. Okay. And then form number 2. Form number 2 is when the premise 1 will be if P then Q. Okay. It will be like an implication format one. If P then Q. So this is the implication. Premise 2, P is true. Okay. It means in premise 2 they will mention P. right? They will mention P. And then in conclusion, they will mention Q, right? And they will mention Q is true. Okay. Okay, for form number three, the premise one also same like just now. It will be if P then Q, but this time your premise two, you will mention Q first, right? And not only it will mention Q, it will do negation. You will do the negation for Q. So then only the conclusion will be the negation of P. You know what is negation, right? Negation means penafian. Penafian is like you do the how to say? You change the true value. You change the true value. You say that it's not true lah. Okay. So this is the three form that you need to memorize. Okay. Take note here. The order here very important one. Okay. For form number two, they will mention P is true, then only Q is true. But form number three is like Q is not true first, then only P is not true. Okay. So they already say that this is a valid deductive argument. They already say it's valid. What is valid, by the way? Okay, let's talk about that also. So for deductive argument, you need to know that it can be valid and it can be not valid, right? And it can also be sound and it can also be not sound, right? So what is valid? Okay, let me put the arrow first. If it's valid, it can be not sound, but if it's not valid, automatic is not sound. Okay, now let me explain how to know whether it's valid or not valid. Valid is when it what's the word? Wait, I forgot what's the word. Comply. Yeah, comply. Comply comply means follow. Comply means follow. So comply with uh a valid form of deductive argument. Of deductive argument. So hope you understand what I write here. So if you want to know whether the deductive argument is valid or not, you check whether it got follow ataupun comply with the valid form or not. It means you check whether they got follow one of these three forms. If yes, then valid. But if doesn't follow, then it's not valid, right? And then what about sound or not sound? Sound is when all your premise and conclusion must be true. Okay, then it's sound, right? Then what if not all premise conclusion true, then it's not sound, right? And you have to know that if the deductive argument is not valid, it means if it doesn't follow any form, then you have to automatic it will be not sound already. You don't have to check whether it's true or false already. Because if it's not valid, then it's not sound. Okay, so straight away. So now let's come back up here. Now they already said this is valid. It means that this confirm will follow one of the form later, right? But I don't know which form yet because I haven't read the soalan. So let's read. If, okay, confirm not form one. Confirm not the form number one. Because form number one, they will not have if one. They will write all, they will start with all. Okay? So definitely it's form number two or form number three. So let's underline this. If x is multiple of 4, then x is multiple of 8. So this must be the P, this must be the Q. And then premise 2, they mention P or Q. They actually mention P, right? But they change the x to 36, right? So x is multiple of 4, but instead now they write 36 is multiple of 4. So what they are doing here is they mention P, right? So they are trying to, how to say, make the P's true by saying 36 is multiple of 4. Then the conclusion must be true also lah. The conclusion must be the Q is true, which is x is multiple of 8, but the x they change to 36, so I also have to change to 36, and then is a multiple of 8, right? And if you read the whole thing makes sense. If x is multiple of 4, then x is multiple of 8. So 36 is multiple of 4, then 36 is multiple of 8 lah. So it means that this is form number 2 lah. Because only form number 2 you can mention P first, right? And that's what they did here, right? They mentioned P is true and then Q is true. Okay, done already. This is my C question number 1 answer. So number 1 say complete this argument by writing conclusion. Okay, sudah siap. What about number 2? Determine whether this argument is sound or not sound. Okay, they never ask you to write valid or not valid, right? Yeah, because it's valid already. They already mentioned here it's valid already. So now if it's valid, it means it got comply with the valid form of deductive argument. That's why it's valid. But we have to check whether it's sound or not sound. And the method is to check the truth value for the premise and conclusion. True value means like check whether they're true or false lah. Okay? So I need to make sure semua ni premise 1, premise 2, conclusion semua true, then baru saya boleh tulis sound. Okay, munasabah. Alright, so is this sound or not sound? Let's read. If x is multiple of 4, then x is multiple of 8. Okay, this is false already. Right? This is false already. Okay. And then this one is true lah. 36 multiple of 4, yeah, this is true. 36 multiple of 8, this is false. 36 cannot divide 8, right? So automatic, I'll write not sound. But let me explain why I say the first premise 1 is false. Because not all multiple 4 is multiple of 8. So let's write down the multiple of 4. Multiple of 4 got what? 4, 8, 12, 16. Yeah. So these are all multiple of 4, right? So adakah semua ni multiple of 8? No. 4 is not multiple of 8, right? So jika X gandaan 4, maka X gandaan 8. Tapi tak semesti. Sebab gandaan 4 tak semesti gandaan 8. Contoh, 4 ni gandaan 4, tapi dia bukan gandaan 8. Because gandaan 8 tak ada 4 pun, right? So that's why the premise 1 is false already. And also the conclusion also false, right? 36 is multiple of 8, this is false, right? So I would say not sound, but they got say give your justification, beri justifikasi, maksudnya kena tulis sebab lah. So I have to write not sound, and because what? So you give a reason lah. Because why? Because not all premise and conclusion is true. Okay, not all premise and conclusion is true. But there is a better way to write this. You can even tell them which one is not true, right? It's better to write down which one is not true. So you can either write premise 1 is not true, or you can also write conclusion is not true. But it will be easier, right? The conclusion is not true, right? It will be easier. So I will just write here because conclusion is not true. Conclusion is not true. Okay. And then I will put titik, and then I will even write here 36 is not multiple of 8. Okay. So I think if you write like this, it's like good enough already. Very, very complete already. Okay. Okay, actually you can also write premise 1 is not true, but I didn't do that is because if I write premise 1 is not true, then I have to give them the reason here. I have to write more stuff because I have to tell them about, I have to give them a counter example. Like for example, because the premise 1 is like very general. So it's like not can also lah if you want to say premise 1 is not true, but the reason later then you have to write 4 is a multiple of 4, but it's not multiple of 8. You give them a counter example, right? You give them a example that is like what number that is multiple of 4 that is not, right? Can also, but I realize it's easier to write conclusion because the conclusion is also false, right? And for the reason it's so easy because the conclusion is a specific statement. So you just write because 36 cannot divide 8 lah. 36 is not, yeah, that's why it's not sound lah. Okay, so hope you understand. So that's how you do it, all right? And this is my notes, this is just my nota, okay? Okay, let's do number 9. This one is called plan and elevation. It's a lower form chapter. Okay, you learn this in form 1, form 2, form 3. I don't remember whether it's form 2 or form 3 lah, but you learn this lah. It's called plan and elevation. Okay, so let's read the question here. Okay, let's read from here. Diagram 9A shows the combination of two solids between a cuboid and a right prism. So cuboid is referring to this, right prism is referring to this, right? Okay, why they call it prism is because there is a cross section here. The cross section here is this trapezium shape. Okay, so this is a prism where the cross section will be a trapezium. Okay, now they say what, given that the plane PQRS is the uniform cross section. Let's see, PQRS. Okay, yeah lah. This is what I mentioned just now, is the cross section of the right prism, and the base MNUVWT is placed on the horizontal plane. MNUV. So yeah, this one is horizontal plane. Okay, no problem. So nothing important here actually. Side PQ is parallel to side SR. Is this important? PQ is parallel to SR. Okay lah. If you usually kalau parallel, I will teach my student to put this arrow. Okay, so that you remember it's parallel. Okay, so yeah lah, trapezium memang ada dual line parallel one. Okay, now what it says, QPS PSR 90. Let's label this QPS 90. Mana? QPS 90. So this is 90. Another 90 is like PSR also. So PSR 90. Okay, no problem. So this must be 90 also lah. Okay, now what else? L is a midpoint of PT. This one important. This one very important. Very, very important, right? Because if I never read this, then I will never know here is 3 cm, 3 cm already. So why I write 3, 3 is because this one is 3 ma. So this will be 3 also. But since L is the midpoint of PT, that means the panjang here and panjang here is same. So 3. That means here also 3. Okay. So with that, now we can do what? Now we can read down here already. Because up here I already read everything. So now let's see what they want here. Based on diagram 9A. Okay, this one 9A. Name the shape of quadrilateral PQRS which is the uniform cross section of the right prism. So what's the name of this shape? Trapezium, right? So it's the right trapezium. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, okay, now let's do B. So B, the question is down here. Okay, so let's read here. Okay, so let's look here. Complete diagram 9B in the answer space by drawing the elevation of combined solid on vertical plane parallel to VW as viewed from Y with full scale. So where is diagram 9B? Let's go down. Oh, okay, this one lah, diagram 9B. Okay, okay, so I need to complete the elevation Y, right? So let's go back to the soalan. So if I take out dari Y, which surface I will nampak first? I think I will nampak this surface first, right? And then the hidden surface, the covered surface will be this surface. And also this surface lah. Okay. Okay, actually also this one also lah. Right? Yeah. Okay, so this is the surface that I will nampak if I take out dari Y. But you need to know something. This surface, the blue color surface here, this surface and this surface, they are same size and they are right across each other. It means that this surface will cover this right? So when you draw it, you will it means you will only draw like this one is enough already. Okay. Same with this red color thing. This one will get covered by this. Okay, it will like oh no, it's not same size, right? This one is not same size. This one is smaller. Yeah, this one is smaller, right? This one is like bigger. It means that this line will be like somewhere here later. Okay, the hidden line will be here. Okay, because this plane is not same size with this, right? Okay, so I'm done. Okay, so I'm just going through like how I need to draw later lah. So I think first I need to draw the 6 cm square first, right? And I think they did it already. Yeah. So 6 cm lah. But make sure you use ruler, yeah, and you have to measure. It has to be exactly 6 cm. And yeah, just like what I said just now, there will be a middle line here, and this middle line is because of the second of this plane right here, the middle line, right? And there is still something I have to draw here, which is the blue color plane, this one, right? And the blue color lane will be 3 cm because the panjang, is it 3 cm? Okay, let's think about this. Okay, let's erase all this. So we all know just now the panjang here is 3, right? The height here is 3, the height here also 3. So this is 3, right? But then what is this? Okay, the whole thing here is 6, right? This one is 3, right? So this is 3, it means this is 3, this is also 3. Okay, so yeah, this is also a square, 3 cm, 3 cm. So I think I have to draw a 3 cm, 3 cm square at the bottom left. Because I take out the Y, so it will be at the bottom left. So I think this is the bottom left. So I need to draw a 3 cm by 3 cm square here. Okay, so 3 cm, I think it will be exactly like this, right? Yeah, 3 cm, 3 cm. The reason why is because this is also 3 cm. If you look at HM panjang, do you realize HM is 3 cm, right? So that means the length here is 3 cm. So if you tarik dotted line here, means this is 3 cm. Okay, but I mentioned again, you have to use ruler to measure exactly. Okay, you have to use your ruler. Okay, and you have to go make sure it's like betul exactly 3 cm. Okay, so this will be 3 cm, this will be 3 cm. Okay, but I don't think you have to label for this. Yeah, so just leave it like this, right? Okay, so now I want to double check again and see whether I did everything correctly. Oh, I need to use dotted line. Yeah, sorry. This one I have to use dotted line. So dotted line, dotted line, dotted line, dotted line, dotted line. Okay. So why use dotted line? Because this is a hidden line, right? Okay, so let me fix this. Okay, so dotted line because it's a hidden line, right? Because we are drawing this line just now. Okay, so I think I did everything correctly. So let's double check. So it will be a 6 cm, 6 cm square. Okay, and then another 3 cm, 3 cm, but it will be using dotted line, right? Because because it's hidden, right? And what about this surface? This surface I already used dotted line, right? Which is here. And then the surface at the back here, we can't see it because it will be covered. It will be like overlap with this, right? Or like you can say it's like right behind each other lah. So it's like you can't it's like exactly behind it, so you cannot you don't have to draw any extra lines lah. Okay, so this is the answer. So I did everything correctly. Okay, I think I have to label, right? Because if you look at them, they also got label here. So let's label. So let's label what's here first. So at the top left, it should be this point, which is S, right? So we write S. And then what about at the top right? Top right, it will be R, right? This will be R. Okay. Okay. So this add this R, and then at here it will be V lah. And then at here it will be W, right? And then what about here? Okay, this dotted line represent this one. So this must be L then, right? This must be L. Okay. And then this must be the K lah. Okay. And then what about this here and this here? So the straight line, the dotted line that you see here, it will be Q atas, U bawah. Okay. So yeah, this is the complete labeling. So now let's transfer this down here. So SQR, just follow what I write there. And then what else here? LKWUV. So just follow LKWUV. So I think I did everything correctly. So this is how the answer looks like. Okay. All right. So hope you understand. And I want to mention again, make sure the length is exactly 3 cm, 3 cm, and it has to be 90-degree one. Okay. So that's all. Okay. Let's do number 10. Okay. Number 10, the diagram is it's a bit blur, but it's okay. We don't need the diagram to do this question. Okay. Diagram 10 shows a coin counting machine in the bank. So we don't need this. Okay. If it's okay. Why I say we don't need the diagram is because there's no information there. Right? There's no information. It's just a picture. Right? So I will just skip the whole part here and straight away read from here. Okay. Okay, so let's read from here. Encik Fatih brought a box containing, so a box, one box containing coins of 5 cents and 10 cents to the bank to be exchanged. So this guy is like bringing a box to the bank, and it contains a number of 5 cents and a certain number of 10 cents, but they never tell us how many bilangan. Okay. After processing, it was found that the number of coins in the box was 1,352 pieces. So I think this is the total number of coins. After you take the number of 5-cent coin and number of 10-cent coin, add together, you get this. Okay, and then they say including 8 pieces of 10-cent coins that were damaged and needed to be separated. So the damaged one have to separate. And there's 8 pieces of 10 coins. And then it said, as a result, a total of 107 ringgit 70 cents can be exchanged by Encik Fatih. Okay. And then they say using the matrix method. Okay. When you see this word using matrix method, it means it's a simultaneous equation question. So what is this? This is a simultaneous equation question. Kenapa? Macam mana saya tahu dia simultaneous? Because when you see this word using matrix method, that means you have to do simultaneous, but you have to use matrix method lah. Okay. Then what's the other method? What's the other method that you can use? The penggantian lah, the substitution method, elimination method. Penggantian, penghapusan cara, right? But you cannot use that method. They already said use matrix method, right? Okay, so now they say find number of 5-cent coins and number of 10-cent coins found in the box brought by Encik Fatih at the beginning. Okay, when I teach this to my own student, or when I teach this in my previous video, I always say the same thing. When we are doing simultaneous equation, and if you don't know what the xy represents, then it's very difficult for you to write the equation. Do you agree? Because if you don't know what's your x, what's your y, it's very hard for you to write the equation, right? You will write something wrong, like maybe some of you will write something like this: x plus y equals 107.7, right? It's wrong, It's wrong. This is wrong. Okay, this is wrong. So it's very hard to write the equation when you don't know what the xy represents. So how I teach my student, I will tell them straight away, see what the question want you to find. Straight away see the last baris. What they want you to find? Number of 5-cent coins, number of 10-cent coins, right? So you make that the x and y. So I repeat one more time. When you're doing simultaneous equation and you don't know what the xy represents, because they will give you a story, and if you don't know what the xy represents in the story, then you can't write down the equation. So how I teach my own student is I will tell them straight away, go to the last baris, see what they want and make that the xy. Okay, you pergi tengok last baris, apa yang dia suruh cari itulah you punya xy. So I will write here, let x represents number of 5-cent coins. Number, it means like berapa biji lah, berapa biji coin tu, berapa biji. And then for y dia mewakili, dia represent bilangan 10 cent coins. Okay, 10 cent coins, right? So now you know your xy represents. Now you can read this again, and now it's very easy for you to write the equation. So the first equation is obvious already, because they said the total number of coins in the box 1352. So x plus y 1352. And there you have it, your first equation. But you need another one, second one. So they say including 8 pieces of 10 coins that were damaged and need to be separated. It means these 8 pieces of 10 cent coins will not be how to say, will not become when you get the total amount later. So the total amount here is 107.7, right? But you don't tell me x plus y 107.7 is wrong, because this one is not the number of coins. This is the amount, the RM, right? The RM. So how to get the RM? Okay, if you have 5 cent coins, then it will worth RM 0.05, because 5 cent is 0.05, right? So if you have 5 cent coins, this is how much. This is how much in RM. But if you have 5, okay, let's say you have 7 5 cent coins, then you will take 0.05 times 7, right? Right? What if you have 20? You have 25 cent coins. Then the RM, how much will it worth? It will be 0.05 times 20. But now you have X amount. So the total amount will be 0.05x. Okay. Plus with, okay, 10 cent, it will be worth, 1 10 cent is worth RM 0.10. But if you have Y amount of it, then it will be 0.1Y, right? But this is wrong, because they got mentioned 8 pieces of 10 cent coins were damaged. It means that the damaged one will not get, how to say, will not include in this amount 107.7, because the 107.7 is like the amount, the one that is like not damaged, right? So I have to do something here. So what I have to do is I have to take y. So instead of writing 0.1y, I have to write y minus with what? Y I have to minus with 8 piece of 10 cent coins. Let me think. 8 piece of 10 cent coins. So the number of 10 cent coins is y, right? So I have to take y minus 8 lah. Correct? Y minus 8. Then only I times with the 0.1 lah. Yeah, like that lah. You guys understand, right? Why is it like that? It's because uh the number of 10 cent coin is y, but since 8 of it is damaged, so now it's like the one that we only count will be y minus 8, right? And then since one coin worth 10 cent, then if it's like y minus 8 number of coins times 0.1. Okay, so I think I can simplify this equation. So now it becomes 0.05x plus expand, you get 0.1y minus 0.1 times 0.8 equals 107.7, and then 0.05x plus 0.1y. Later this one you have to bring over here, because later when you do matrix method, you have to make sure the arrangement have to be same, and the arrangement must be like this: x, y on one side, and then number on the other side. So this one also x, y on this side, number on the other side. So what is 107.7 plus 0.8? So my calculator give me 108.5. So that's the value I write here. Okay, now we have my equation 1 and I have my equation 2, right? So now we can solve using the matrix method. Okay, I need more space. I need more space. So let me do this, do this, do this. Okay, so now what we do is I will separate here. I will continue my working here. So now they say using matrix method. So we cannot use substitution elimination. We have to use matrix method. First step is to write down in matrix form first. Okay, how to convert this to matrix form is actually very easy. The first bracket, you have to write down the number, the values, or you can say the coefficient. It means you will focus on what's in front of the value in front of x and y. So in front of x here is 1. So 1. The value in front of here is 1. So write 1 also. Sometimes it's negative. If it's negative, then you put a negative. And then what about here? X in front is 0.05. And then the number in front of y here is 0.1. Okay. So that is why it's important to arrange it nicely first. That's why it's important to arrange it nicely. X, Y equals number, then baru boleh tulis. Okay, what about the second bracket? The second bracket, you have to write the unknowns. So the unknowns for this is X and Y, right? So X, they write first, so the one place atas. Y, they write afterwards, so the one I write bawah. And then for the answer here, it will be 1352 and 108.5. Okay, so now you can start to solve using matrix method. Okay, first step is to bring this matrix to the other side. And when you bring it to the other side, you become inverse. Okay, because in matrix, when two matrix times together, when you move the other side, it becomes inverse. And how we do inverse? Okay, I will write the same thing here, 1, 1, 0.05, and then 0.1. But when you do inverse, you have to, it means you have to take the whole thing and then put power -1 lah. And then this is 1352, and then this is 108.5. Okay, what is the formula to do inverse? 1 over AD minus BC, bracket, bracket, DA, negative B, negative C, right? But you don't have to memorize the formula. You just have to biasakan how to do it lah. So 1 over, actually you have to darab silang. And you have to start from atas. So it's like 1 times 0.1 like this. And then minus. Okay, because that's the formula. Minus what? 0.05 times 1. Okay. This one is the formula. You just follow the formula. And then bracket. Okay, the A and D, which is 1 and 0.1, you have to terbalik. So 0.11 terbalik. Okay. And then the 1 and 0.05 don't terbalik, just tukar tanda. So 1 jadi negative 1, 0.05 jadi negative 0.05. And don't forget, ada lagi satu bracket sini, 1352, 108.5. Right? So sampai sini, you can continue. And I need more space now. Okay. So I don't have enough space. I will kecilkan so I get more space here. So now it will become xy equals to 1 over, let's press this in my calculator. 1 times 0.1 minus 0.0. Okay, my calculator give me 0.05 here. So you just write down 0.05. Oh, and by the way, this number down here, we call it the determinant. Yeah, this is important also. It's important to know that also, that the number down here is called determinant. And the determinant cannot equal 0. Because if the determinant equals 0, then the inverse does not exist. Because if the determinant is 0, 1 divided 0 is like math error. So like you can't find the inverse already. Okay. So remember the down, this bawah punya number tak boleh equal 0. Okay, then what about these two metrics? You can times them together lah, right? And when you times them together, you will get a 2-row 1-column matrix. Meaning you will get one number up here, one number down here. Why? Because the first matrix is 2-row 2-column, 2 times 2. This one is 2-row 1-column, 2 times 1. And then you can only times when the this number here and here same, right? So same, so it can cut. So you left with 2 times 1. That's why your answer here will also be, that's why your remaining answer will be 2-row 1-column, right? Okay, now the question here is how to get the atas punya number and how to get the bawah punya number. For the atas punya number, you have to take horizontal times vertical. And the method we use is like this. When you have a AB like this and CD like this, the correct way to times is take A times C, B times D. Please don't go and take A times C, A times D. That's the wrong way. It has to be A times C, B times D. So imagine this is your AB, this is your CD. So it should be 0.1 times 1352, and then B times D, -1 times 0.85. So -1, okay, times 1, and then bracket 108.5. And if there's nothing in between, then you write plus. But if there's already minus here, then you don't have to write plus already. Then it's fine, just leave it like this. Okay, now let's repeat the same process, but this time using the second row. A times B, A times C, B times D, like this. All right, so siapa darab siapa? -0.5 have times with 1352. And then the next one is 1 times 108.5. And I told you if there's nothing in between, just put the plus here, right? Okay, let's continue up here. My xy equals to 1 over 0.05. I had to solve this one in my calculator first. So just press the whole thing in your calculator. 0.1 bracket 1352 tutup bracket minus 108.5. Okay, your calculator will give you 26.7. That's what my calculator give me lah. Okay, and then what about down here? Just press the whole thing. -0.05 bracket 1352 tutup bracket plus 108.5. Okay, if you press everything correctly, your calculator will give you 40.9. And the last step is to take the fraction and do the fraction lah. So how to do the fraction? You just take both numbers, divide 0.05, right? So what is 26.7 divide 0.05? You'll get 534 if you press. And then 40.9 divide 0.05, you'll get 818, right? So that is your XY answer. It means your X is 534, your Y is 818. But I recommend don't stop here because in this question, there's the XY doesn't exist actually. The XY I jadikan dia, do you remember at first I let the XY becomes number of 5 cent and number of 10 cent. So if I write like this, it's like very confusing for the pemeriksa. Because what the X and Y represents, the pemeriksa tak tahu, right? No one knows. No one knows what the XY represents. So since the XY kita yang letak, that means we have to write one more baris to change the x back to what the original question wants, right? So number of 5 cent coins, right? So it's better to write number of 5 cent coins equals to, okay, what's the number of 5 cent coins? X, right? X is 534. So 534. Okay, and then comma, and then number of 10 cent coins. That's the Y, right? The Y. And what you get for the Y just now, 818. Okay, so you write like this, then it's better. Okay, then your working is like better, then you'll get full mark. Okay, all right. So hope you understand my explanation here. Yeah, that's all. Okay, now we are moving on to bahagian B, section B, right? So they say answer all questions in this section. And I can already tell this is a straight line question. It's a Form 3, Chapter 9. Okay, Form 3, Chapter 9. Okay, so in SPM, they will come out Form 1, Form 2, Form 3 punya soalan also. And this is one of the famous chapter that they will always come out. Straight line. Okay, for straight line equation, you need to know that there is two types of straight line. First, we call it the non-gradient line. Non-gradient line means when the line looks like this, it will be completely horizontal or completely vertical. If it's completely horizontal, the equation of the line will look like this: y equals something. And if the line is vertical, then the equation will be x equals something. Equals the something equals a number lah. And this number depends on where they cut the x-axis. For example, if I draw the line like this and I say this one is 3, then the equation of this line will be x equals 3, right? But if they do it like this, -1, then the equation is x equals -1. If it's completely vertical, then only you can write like this. But what if I say, what if my line is like this? For example, I put like this, I put a 5 here, and then I put like this. So what would be the equation of this line? It will be y equals 5 lah. Bukan x equals 5 because dia tak ada potong x-axis, dia potong y-axis, right? So it will be horizontal. That's why it's like y equals, right? So one way to memorize this is you see the equation. If kalau dia y equals, it means it will potong the y-axis. If x equals means it will potong x-axis, right? And then the number at the back here depends on where they cut the x-axis or the y-axis depends. Okay, so this one is kalau non-gradient. But kalau gradient punya line, the line will look like this. Sengit, sengit, right? If it's sengit like this, the gradient positive. If it's sengit like this, the gradient negative. If the line look like, if it's a gradient line, and we need to remember how to find gradient, of course, because for this type of lines, the equation will be y equals mx plus c. So it's different with the non-gradient line. Non-gradient line, there's only one variable. It's like x equals something or y equals something. Okay, it's either only have x or only have y. But for gradient line, it will have both variable. Yeah, because they will potong the y-axis and x-axis, right? That's why I got two variable, y and x, right? And now my job is to teach you how to find the equation lah. And to find the equation is you need the m and the c. Okay, you need to m and the c, the gradient and the y-intercept. So the first thing is you need to learn how to find gradient, and the formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 x minus x1. But you need two coordinates for this to work. Because if you don't have two coordinates, then it's not enough information for you to find gradient. Okay, the second thing is how to find y-intercept, right? Okay, y-intercept, you can use your eyes to check the graph and see whether they could give you or not, right? You just check in your diagram and see whether they could give you the y-intercept or not, right? And if they don't give you, then you use the second method. Second method is you sub a point, right? But I will put star here and I will write PT. What's the meaning? It means that you sub a point inside the equation here because you already have your m. If you do your step 1 correctly, you already have your m. And then if you want to find c, you just need your x and y, right? So for the x, y, you have to sub with a point lah. But make sure the point got passes through. Make sure the line got passes through the point. Kalau tak ada passes through, then cannot use. Okay, that's why I put a star here and write passes through. And then step number 3 is sometimes they will ask you to find x-intercept lah. Okay. Okay, c is the y-intercept. Then what is x-intercept? X-intercept, you just do y equals 0. Just take the full equation, do y equals 0. But you have to make sure you get your m and c first. Because if you don't have your m and c, and then you sub y equals 0, it doesn't work. Because you don't have your m and c, how you want to? You will get stuck, right? You need to make sure it has to be full equation. For example, it look like this. Y equals 2x plus 3. This is a full equation. Now you can sub y equals 0. Because when you sub y equals 0 now you can find your x, right? But imagine if you don't have your m and c, then how you want to pindah, right? You can't find this, right? So that's why you have to follow, get the M and C first. After you get your full equation, then only you take the full equation, you sub y equals 0, find the x-intercept, right? But this equation got asked us to find x-intercept. Yeah, see, they asked already, right? So yeah, memang dia suka tanya one, the x-intercept. Okay, okay. So this is my notes for you. Now we can start to actually do this question. Okay, so point P, point Q, point R, all the coordinates give us. Oh no, P never give us. Not complete because they only give us the x coordinate, but it's okay. Now let's do question 1. They said equation of QR. They want to find QR. Okay, if you look at QR equation, can you tell me this line, is it a gradient line or non-gradient line? Is it a gradient line or non-gradient line? I told you already, non-gradient line looks like this. Because non-gradient line, why non-gradient look like this is because the gradient for this will be 0, the gradient for this will be infinity. Okay, if you do the calculation if you do the formula, do the calculation, this line will give you a gradient 0, and the line like this will give you gradient infinity. That's why I call it a non-gradient line, right? But if you look at the QR line, it's sengit. It's sengit. It's sengit. It's not horizontal or vertical, right? It's sengit. So definitely it's y equal mx plus c. And I even know that the gradient will be positive. How I know is sorry, not positive, negative, because it's going down like this, right? So it belongs to this type of the line, right? So now what I need to do is find out the m and c by following the step here, step 1, step 2. So step 1 is get the gradient. Okay, how to find the gradient of QR? Well, the formula I write here already. If you have two coordinates that the line got passes through one, then you can use the formula. So do you have 2 points that you can use along the line? Yes, this one and this one. So the m will be y minus y, 3 minus 1, divide x minus x, negative 4 minus 6. And then you will do this one, you'll get 2 here, negative 10 here, and negative 1 over 5 is the gradient. Now get the y-intercept, and the y-intercept got 2 methods I teach you. First method is by observing whether they got give it to you or not. If no, then you use the second method, sub a point. All right. So can you tell me this red color line, where is the pintasan y? Where is the y-intercept? Where did this line touch the y-axis? Here, right? And do you know this one is how much? You don't know because they never give us. It means that we can't do it by observing the diagram. We have to use the second method, which is by you have to sub in the point But when you sub in, you have to make sure you have the m. So you already have the m actually. The m is negative 1 over 5, right? So x plus c, right? So the only thing now, the only thing you need now is the c, right? But do you agree? If you want to find c, you need to have x and y. Do you agree? Yes, right? Because you want to find c, just put in the x and y. And for the x, y, which point you will put? You have to make sure, I put star here already, you have to make sure got passes through, then only can use. So can you tell me QR line got passes through which point? 6, 1 and negative 4, 3. It means you can use either one. You can choose lah. You boleh pilih lah. You want nak guna point ni sub pun boleh, nak guna ni pun boleh. Dua-dua pun dia akan bagi same answer. Okay, let's use the 6, 1 lah. But you cannot use this point. This point cannot, confirm cannot, because no, tak ada passes through. Okay, so now let's write down here passes through 6, 1. And now what I have to do is just sub the x jadi 6, sub the y jadi 1, then I can get my c. So y ganti jadi 1, negative 1 over 5 x, which is 6 plus c. Okay, so now it becomes 1 equals 6 times, this one darab atas, so negative 6 over 5 plus c, and now you can get your c, move this over, it become plus. 1 plus 6 over 5 is 11 over 5. But don't stop here, because they ask for equation. So you have to rewrite the whole thing, but you have to rewrite from here lah. So the answer will be y equals negative 1 over 5x plus c plus c plus c plus 11 over 5. Okay, so this is your final answer. Y equals mx plus c. That's the equation of QR. So sudah siap, right? Okay, now we can continue with number 2. Find the x-intercept of QR. But I told you already, if you want to find the x-intercept, you have to make sure you have the full equation, and then only you can do the y equals 0. But the full equation for which line? For QR lah, because they want x-intercept of QR. Takkan lah dia suruh x-intercept QR and then you take the other equation, right? So it doesn't make sense. So obviously you need the QR full equation, and then you sub y equals 0. Okay, so number 2, I'll do it here. So I already have my QR full equation. Y equals negative 1 over 5x plus 11 over 5. Now I want to find x-intercept. I just sub the y 0. So now it looks like this now. So now how to find x? You can bring this over, make it positive first, equals 11 over 5. And then your x is just 11. Because the 5, when you move it here, become times 5, cut. You left with 1x equals 11. That means your x-intercept is 11. Okay, so I will even write it again for them. X-intercept equals 11, right? So now I answered the question already. Okay, now for my B question, last part. Given the distance of PQ is 10 unit. Okay, the distance formula you need to know is square root, okay, bracket square plus bracket square. And then for the first bracket is x1 minus x2. This one is y1 minus y2. This formula also you learn in lower form. Yeah, I don't remember lah from 2 or from 3, but you learn in one chapter, I think it's called like coordinate or something. And then you learn about the distance formula, the midpoint formula. In Bahasa Melayu, we call it the jarak and the titik tengah. Midpoint is titik tengah. Okay, but this one we use the distance formula lah. Okay, they say distance of PQ is 10 units, so I think I need the P and Q coordinate. Kalau tak nanti macam mana nak masukkan dalam formula, right? Okay, point P, point Q, do we have it? Yes, 2H negative 4, 3. So now boleh kita masuk dalam formula lah. So the distance they already give us is 10. So that's the answer already. So for here, I will masukkan I will buka the square root and then bracket square plus bracket square. And I already have the answer because they already say distance is 10. So the formula is x minus x. Since I'm finding the distance of PQ, then therefore I will take the P punya x coordinate minus the Q punya x coordinate, which is 2 minus negative 4. Actually, you can take negative 4 minus 2 also. Okay. It's the same lah. Just take x minus x lah. And then the other bracket is y minus y. So let's take 3 minus h. But it doesn't look nice, right? Because your h is negative. Okay, let's do it the other way lah. Okay, so let's take 2 minus negative 4, which is 2 plus 4, and then h minus 3. The reason why I choose this is because my h will be positive. Because if I do it the other way, the reverse one is like my h is negative, right? So I don't like it when, because they want to find h, so I try to make it positive lah. But actually can also lah. If your h is negative, can also. And then because later you can pinna, you can pinna the negative, right? Okay, so now let's keep going. If I keep going, I can find my h. So what I need to do now, I think I'll bring the square root over here. Because the square root is outside, so when you bring it over, it become 10 square, and then later it become 100 here, right? Okay, so now what I have to do is, I have to solve what's inside here. Okay, 2 plus 4 is 6, 6 square is 36. And then plus with h minus 3 square, this one you can choose to expand, right? And when you expand, what you do is you have to take depan square, and then depan darab belakang darab 2, and then belakang square. But if you don't want to expand, can also. Actually, it's better if you don't expand. So I will show you both method. One using one expand, one don't expand. So the method I'm doing now is I didn't expand. I leave it like this. And then I will leave it like this. And then the 36 move over, become minus 36 like this. Right? And then when I minus later here, you get 64. Right? 100 minus 36, 64. And then I will pinna the square. So when you move the square over, it becomes square root. But you need to know square root have two answers, 1 plus 1 minus. So h minus 3 equals to 8. H minus 3 equals negative 8. Why got two answers? Because 8 square will give you 64. Negative 8 square also give you 64. That's why I got two answers. So remember that. So h equals to something, h equals something. Okay, minus 3 become plus 3, h plus 3, 11. Negative 8 plus 3 is negative 5. So you end up with 2 h answer here, right? Okay, what if, okay, but your h cannot be two value at the same time, right? It has to be either 11 or negative 5. So can you tell me, h, which one is your answer, 11 or negative 5? You don't tell me, oh, sir, reject the negative one. Because you thought just now, because just now got one answer, one question, where is it? Let me find it. Just now got one answer, you reject the negative one. Where is it? This one, right? You reject negative. And I remember when I explained number 6 just now, I told you, right? Tak semestinya reject negative. You have to sub inside the soalan and see which one makes sense. Bukan tak semesti every time you reject negative one. Okay, when I explained number 6 just now, also I got mentioned this, right? If you want to hear the explanation, you rewind the video to question number 6. Okay, now let's come back here. So what we have to do now, we have to sub 11 and negative 5 inside and see which one makes sense, right? Tak semestinya yang negative mesti reject. Okay, so 2H here. So what do you think? 2, 11, 2, negative 5. Which one makes sense? 2, negative 5 lah, because this one, the x coordinate is 2, okay lah, but H is here, right? How can H be positive 11? H is like bawah kosong. This must be negative, right? So the answer here must be negative then. H must be negative 5. So I will reject here. Rejected. So the correct answer here is negative 5. Okay? Okay, sudah siap. Alright, I want to teach you another method. Another method is, because I told you just now, this one you can kembang also, right? But if you kembang also, you get the same one. You will get Depan square, h square, depan darab belakang, negative 3h, darab 2, negative 6h, and plus 9 equals 64. Okay. Yeah, the method is like if you kembang lah. And when you kembang h minus 3 square is like this. H minus 3, h minus 3. It means you have times like this lah. Okay, but I use the shortcut method, depan square, and then depan darab belakang darab 2, belakang square. And then the 64, move it over here, become h square minus 6h. Okay, plus 9 minus 64. If you press, you will give you negative 55, right? And then this one becomes quadratic already, and then you use calculator lah, right? And trust me, they will give you same answer one. Okay lah, I prove to you. So let me press the calculator quickly. Okay, yeah, the calculator give me 11 and negative 5. Which is the same lah. This is the same answer one. I never lie to you. H minus 11 and then H plus 5 equals 0. So you end up the same lah. And then you will reject this. This one also reject also. So you end up with this, right? It's just that your working will look a little bit different if you do it like this, right? See the working looks different, right? But the answer is same, so it doesn't matter. But in exam, don't do both lah. Just choose one. Okay, just choose one. All right. So okay, I should write rejected here. Write nicely. Rejected. So H is negative 5, right? If you want to expand, then your working will look like this. If you don't want to expand, then your working look like this. But in the end, doesn't matter because same answer. You will get full mark for both this working, right? Okay, let's keep going with question number 12. So number 12, this is a OGIF, right? So I think this is measures of dispersion for group data. Yeah, it's from 5 chapter. Okay, let's read. Diagram 12 shows an OGIF that represent the height in cm for 30 pupils of Form 5 crystal. So 30 will be the total frequency, right? So you can see the cumulative, the highest point is 30, right? Is 30. Okay, so that means the total frequency is 30 lah. Okay, all right. So they already give us the OGIF, and you need to know for OGIF, the y-axis, they would use cumulative frequency, and the x-axis, they will use upper boundary. So later when I scroll down, the x-axis value will give you the upper boundary. So if I scroll down, you see here, all these numbers is the upper boundary. Okay, is the upper boundary. Okay, all right. So now let's go down here. A, this is based on the diagram 12, complete table 12 in the answer space. So let's go to table 12. Where is it? Okay, so this is table 12, right? So I think if I want to fill in this table, I need to butcher the coordinate first, right? I need to write down all the coordinate for this. So let's try to write down all the cumulative frequency for all the upper boundary. So the first one is 0 lah, as you can see, right? The next one is 2. Okay, why is it 2? Because you can see from here to here, the difference is 5, right? 5 minus 0 is 5, right? And if you take 5 divide 10, you will get 0.5. And why I divide 10? Because I want to know satu kotak kecil berapa. So it will be 5 divide 10, which is 0.5 lah. That means when you naik satu kotak kecil, it is be 0.5, right? Then what if you naik dua kotak kecil? Then it will be 0.5 plus 0.5, which is 1, right? That is why this one is 2, because it's like naik dua is 1, naik lagi dua is 2, right? Okay, what about this? This one is 5 naik dua, so this must be 5 plus 1, which is 6. Then what about this? This one is 10 plus 1, naik 2 kotak is 11, naik lagi 2 is 12 lah, right? Okay, this one is 20, naik 2 kotak. So 20 plus 1 lah. What about this? 30 turun 2 is 29, turun lagi 2 is 28. That means every time you naik 2 kotak, you plus 1. Every time you turun 2, you minus 1. Okay, this one is 30 lah. Okay, so after I have all my cumulative frequency, now I can put it inside, right? But I recommend don't put it in first, because you have to check the upper boundary also, right? So the upper boundary is given here, is given down here, right? And if you look at the table, they actually give you the class, right? This is called class. So we can, what I will do now is I'll write down the upper boundary beside, okay? So that later I will put in the cumulative frequency according to the upper boundary, okay? Okay, so how to find upper boundary for the first class? 144 plus 145 divided 2, which is 144.5. Okay, so remember, when you find upper boundary, the method is take the upper limit. Upper limit means the big number in the class, and then plus with the next number divide 2, right? Okay, same with the next one lah. You will take the upper limit, which is 149, plus with the next number 150 divide 2, you get 149.5. And then you do the same, you get 154.5. This one is 159.5. This one is 164.5. This one is 169.5. And now for the first cumulative frequency, it will be the 144.5, right? And if you write 0 is wrong, because if you look from your graph, you see 144.5 is 2, right? If you write 0 is wrong, so it's 2. So here I have to write 2. That is why it's important to write down the upper boundary, right? So that we match the correct cumulative frequency, because we have to match the correct cumulative frequency with the correct upper boundary, right? So if we don't write down the upper boundary, it's like very easy to make mistake, right? So the 0 is no need to write that means okay. And then the next one is 6, 12, 21. Just follow only lah, right? So just write 2, 6, 12, 21, and then the final two, let's look at it again. 28, 30, right? So you just write it 28, 30. Okay, that is the cumulative frequency. But the next part is they want you to write the frequency, right? Frequency. Okay, cumulative frequency, you will use the cumulative frequency to find the frequency, but how you do it is you have to minus, right? You have to minus because cumulative frequency is kekerapan longgokan. It means when you take the frequency, you add them up, right? So the first frequency and the first cumulative will be the same, right? 2, 2. But then the next number, you have to check 2 plus what equals to 6, right? So 2 plus what gives you 6? 4, right? Because 6 minus 2. Okay, 6 minus 2, that's why it's 4. Okay, and then you have to think about 6 plus how much? 6 plus what gives you 12, right? And the answer is 6, right? And then do the same. 12 plus what? It gives you 21. 9, right? And how you do that is just use calculator, right? 21 minus 12, right? So you get 9 here. And then do the same. 28 minus 21, which is 7. 30 minus 28, which is 2, right? So these are all the frequency, right? So remember that frequency, cumulative frequency, how do you calculate cumulative? Is you take the frequency plus with all the frequency before the class. So for example, if the 21 actually come from 9 plus all the frequency of the previous class. That's why when you find back the frequency, you have to minus, right? Okay, hope you understand. So now I can go to do B already because A, they already asked us to complete table 12, right? So I already complete the table. So A done already. Now let's do B. So B, they say calculate the standard deviation of the height in cm of pupils in Form 5 crystal by given the mean 155.5. Okay, I'll do it here. So they want to find standard deviation. So I will write down the formula for standard deviation, right? So the standard deviation formula looks like this. Square root sum of x squared divide n minus mean square. But there is also another version of the formula, or the other formula looks like this: sum of fx squared divide the sum of f minus mean square, right? Okay, this one we use when it's a ungrouped data. Ungrouped data means there is when there's like no frequency. This formula we use when they got give frequency. Usually when it's group data, we must use this because group data they will give frequency, right? So this is a group data and there is frequency. So we need to use which formula? This formula. But do you realize when you use this formula, you need the mean? Okay, this is the symbol for mean. So if you don't have mean, we cannot find the standard deviation. But they already give us here. You see, mean is 155.5. So I don't have to waste my time to find it again, right? So I'll just use, I already have the mean. So I can straight away find my standard deviation, okay? But what if they never give you mean? What if they never give you mean? Then you have to find the mean. And how to find the mean for group data? You have to take midpoint. You have to find out all the midpoint times with frequency divide with total frequency. Tapi itu kalau dia tak bagi mean lah. That one is like if they never give you mean, then only you find it using that way. But this question they already give us, so we don't have to do that again. We can straight away go to our standard deviation and straight away put in the formula and then get our answer from there. Okay, the formula looks like this. Draw a line and then minus mean square. And the mean, we already know it. It's 155.5. So just put it in. So now the only thing left is to write down this, right? So according to the formula, it says what? You have to put in the sum of frequency times x squared. X, okay, f is the frequency, of course. X is the data, or you can say the class, right? But actually you have to use midpoint because, okay, so in short form, this one is f, this one is x, right? The height is the x. But if you look at your x now, it's like a class, right? It's a class, right? So you cannot how to say? Okay, your x is a class, but you need one number to represent the class. right? You will use the number to represent the class, to wakil the class. And you will choose midpoint. Okay, you will use the midpoint when you want to represent the class with one number. You will always use midpoint, right? So let's find out the midpoint for all this. So what I'll do now is I will write down MP stands for midpoint, and then I will find out all the midpoint of the class. Okay, how to find midpoint? Take the lower limit plus upper limit, and then divide 2, and then you will get 142. Same thing here, 145 plus 149 equal, and then divide 2. So you will get 147. Okay, so next one is 152. So 147, this one is 152, and then 157, this one 162, this one 167. Okay, so you just use your calculator and then tambah these two numbers and then divide 2, that's all. All right, after you get all your midpoint, now you know your x already, right? Now you know your x already. And if you look at the formula, you see where they square it. They square the x, they never square the frequency. So this is how I always teach my own student. I will always tell them, never ever square the frequency, right? Never ever square the frequency. So you will square the x, which is the midpoint. So what you will write is 142 square times 2. Understand, right? 142 square times 2. Okay, it means you have to take the x square times with the frequency. Okay, and the frequency no need to square. So 142 square times 2. Let's write down. Here I write 142 square times 2. And then the next one, and then plus lah. Because later you have to take 142 square times 2, 147 square times 4, everything, and then plus everything. Okay, 147 square times 4, next one. So let's write it. Okay, and then the next one, let's go. 152 square times 6. Yeah. So that's all. And then plus, next one, 157 square times 9. And then plus, and then the next one is 162 square times 7. And then the last one is 167 square times 2. 167 square. Okay, let me erase this. Plus 167 square times 2. Okay, so let me panjangkan this line. And of course, this line also have to be like long enough to cover everything. And don't forget to minus mean square, please. The mean is 155.5, right? Given in the question. And then divide with total frequency is 30, right? Yeah, the total is 30, okay? All right, so now it's time to press calculator. And this is how I will press it. I will not straight away give them the final answer. I will first tekan the sum everything here first. And then the rest, I will just leave it like this, right? It means I will write down the sum here, and then only I will give them the final answer. I will not give them the final answer in one go. So now I will press my calculator. So wait for me. I press 142 square times 2 plus 147 square times 4 plus 152 square times 6 plus 157 square times 9 plus 162 square times 7 plus 167 square times 2. Okay, my calculator give me 7266715. 7266715. Okay, now I will get now I will straight away write the final answer. I will press answer divide 30 minus 155.5 square, and then equal, and then square root answer. So my calculator give me 6.602. Okay, so I hope you all make sure you all know how to press the calculator, because a lot of students they don't know how to press calculator sometimes, right? So yeah, make sure you betul-betul tahu macam mana nak tekan. Okay, I already finished question B. Okay, 3 marks for this. Okay, so that's all. But they got say standard deviation in cm, right? So yeah, I think it's better if I write the cm. So you realize when I do the question exam paper, I always okay, very careful about the unit one. I always check the unit one. If you got watch all my previous video, I always make sure if got unit, I will write unit, right? And if don't have unit, then don't no need lah. Okay. Okay, so let's see. Let's read. Using a scale of 2 cm to 5 on horizontal means the x-axis, and then 2 cm to 1 on the vertical means the y-axis. Draw a histogram. Okay, before I start to draw histogram, I need to tell you histogram need to use what for the x-axis and y-axis. For the x-axis, you have to use boundary. And what boundary? Both the boundaries, the lower boundary and the upper boundary, you need both, okay? Because later when you draw your histogram, can you see the kaki here? This kaki and this kaki. This kaki, you have to write the lower boundary and the upper boundary, and then the height will be the frequency. Okay, the tinggi, that will be the frequency, because the y-axis is frequency, right? But the kaki here, you have to write the lower boundary and the upper boundary of that class. Okay, for that class. Okay, but actually you can also use midpoint to draw frequency. But if you use midpoint, then later you don't write at the kaki. You don't write at the kaki, you write in the middle like this, right? But I don't like to use midpoint to draw frequency. Okay, the way I teach my student is I always tell them use boundary, use boundary. So that's what I'm gonna do here also. I will use the lower boundary and upper boundary to draw the histogram. But now I don't have enough information because I only have the upper boundary. So let's add one column here for the lower boundary. So now what I will do is I will find lower boundary for all the class. Okay, how to find lower boundary for the first class? Okay, lower boundary, you have to take the lower limit, means the small number 140, plus with the last number divide 2. The last number must be 139, right? So 140 plus 139 equal, and then divide 2 with 139.5. Okay, you can use your calculator. Next one is 145 plus 144 divide 2, 144.5. And since this one and this one same, this one and this one also same, 149.5. And then the 154.5 will be same here. And then this one same with that, 159.5, and this must be same with that, right? So how you get the 164.5? It's 165 plus 164 divide 2, okay? Or you can say like finding the midpoint of these two numbers, lah, right? It's the same thing. Yeah? Okay, so now I'm done with all the information. Now I have everything I need to draw my histogram. Because for my histogram, I need boundary and frequency, right? So I have everything now. I have both the boundaries and I have the frequency. I can draw my histogram, right? But I do want to mention it's also possible to draw it using midpoint. It's possible also, okay? But it's just that I usually teach my student, I will tell them use boundary, okay? So let's draw the histogram now. So let's look at the scale, right? First of all, let's look at the scale. So using a scale of 2 cm to 5 cm on the horizontal axis and 2 cm to a pupil on the vertical axis, draw a histogram, right? So they already said 2 cm to 5 on the horizontal axis. So let's go to our graph paper. Okay, this is the horizontal axis, right? So this is the horizontal axis. So this will be 0. But you don't go and put 5, 10, 15 like that. If you do like that, it's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong. Okay, it's definitely wrong. Because you have to know that in this chapter, you need to use the lower boundary and the upper boundary if you're doing histogram, right? For the x-axis. So you have to follow the first class lower boundary. So you don't go and plus 5 first. You will write 139.5. Okay, you write all these numbers, right? But make sure you will end with 169.5. Okay, because I told you already, when doing histogram, you need all the lower boundary and upper boundary values, right? So if you take all the values here, it will be from 139.5 to 169.5. So I have to go to my graph now and write 139.5, and then only I plus 5. Okay, now only I plus 5, right? So now plus 5, I'll get 144.5. And then this one is 149.5. This one is 154.5. This one is 159.5. This one is 164.5. Okay, can I stop here? Let's go back to the table. Can I stop here? No, I cannot stop here. I need to go one more, 169.5, right? I told you already, all these values have to be in your x-axis. So 169.5, okay? All right, so one more. Okay, it's enough space, it's okay. Okay, I know it's already outside like this, but it's fine. Okay, now we draw our axis. So this is my x-axis, right? Okay, after I draw my x-axis, now it's time to write what I have to write here. So we cannot write lower boundary, cannot write boundary. So what we have to write is we have to write height. Okay, because the data for this question is about height. So we have to write height. And if you don't have enough space, you can write down here also. Okay, down here in the middle here like this, height. And then if got unit, write the unit also. Okay, now for the y-axis. For the y-axis, it has to be frequency, but they could give us the scala, the scale. And the scale is 2 cm to 1 pupil on the y-axis. So you put 1 pupil, 1 pupil. But let's look at what's the highest. So you have to, the highest frequency here is 9, right? So you will just go 1, 2, 3 until 9, right? So let's do that. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, right? Okay, now I will draw my axis. So it should be like this. And this one we have to write frequency. Okay, because histogram you use frequency. Unless it's a cumulative histogram. Because there's sometimes they will ask you to draw cumulative histogram. Cumulative histogram have to use cumulative frequency. Okay. Okay, but this one is a histogram. So yeah, you just do that. All right. So I'm done with the axis now. Now I can start drawing the histogram, right? Okay, when we draw, we have to look at the table, of course. And when we look at the table, don't just look at the frequency. We look at the lower boundary and the upper boundary also. So what my eyes have to look at this, this, and this, right? Don't just look at the frequency. Look at this, and this. So the first bar, or like the first bar, right? The first bar, the kaki have to be at 139.5, 144.5, and then the height must be 2. So 139.5, 144.5, 2. So go to your graph paper, and then 2 lah. So 139.5, 144.5 is 2. Okay. So this is the first bar. Okay. So draw nicely. Okay, the next one. The next one is what? The next one is 144.5, 149.5, and the frequency is 4. So 144, 149, 4. So this one is 144.5, 144. Okay, 4, 4, 4, 4, 4 must be here. And then like this. And then turun bawah, the kaki must be at 149.5. Right? Okay, now for the next one. 149.5 until 1454.5, the frequency is 6. 6. So 6. So it must be here then. Okay, I will join the line afterwards. Okay, this line I have to draw down, right? But I will do it afterwards. So the next one is what? 6, and then 6 after 6 is 972. So yeah, because I want to do fast lah. Right? Okay, so 9, and then 7, and then 2. Okay. So it will end up looking like this, and you can see the last kaki memang sambung dekat 169.5. So now we just complete the line, and then this one also just complete. So you have to use ruler lah for this, right? You have to use ruler to draw it. And then the last one, yeah. Okay, done. This is my histogram. Okay, after you're done drawing, you still have to check for 2 things, right? This is how I teach my student. First, you have to check the title. Okay, title. So what will be the title here? This is called a histogram. So the title, you have to write histogram. And another thing you have to check is you have to check the x-axis. You have to check the x-axis and check whether you got modified the x-axis or not, right? So if you look at this, from here to here, you plus 139.5, right? But from here to here, you plus 5 only, right? So this is not normal, right? Because here is the Scala says use 2 cm to 5, right? 2 cm to 5 unit. But I never follow them. Here I never follow. Okay, the first one I read 139.5, then here only I follow. So that means I already modify my x-axis. And if got modify, I will tell my student, I will always tell them you have to put this symbol, right? You have to put this symbol, okay? To indicate that you already modify the x-axis, okay? All right, so let me fix this by doing this. And then this one have to join like this. Like this, right? But I know a lot of teachers, they don't teach, how to say? Most teachers, they never say have to put this, right? But I will still recommend it lah, okay? All right, so done already. Yeah, this is the answer, okay? All right, let's go back to the soalan. So let's read the question. Okay, where is it? Okay, soalan C here, right? Using a scale 2 cm to 5, 2 cm to 1, draw a histogram. So 4 marks. Yeah, done already. Yeah, I did everything correctly. Okay, so this is the final answer. Okay, I think I can continue with uh next question, right? Okay, so C is the graph. B I already do it up here. Okay, that's all. Okay, let's continue question number 13. I think this is a transformation question. So let's read the question first. Enlargement is a transformation in which all the points of an object move from a fixed point with a constant ratio. So this is just like they are just telling you what is enlargement, right? The meaning of enlargement. And then they say state the meaning of the following So number 1, they want you to state the meaning of fixed point. All right, enlargement got two things, two main important information. One is the fixed point, one is the ratio, right? And the fixed point, we call it the center, right? So I think what they want you to write is, they want to write the meaning of fixed point, right? So what do we call the fixed point? The center of enlargement. So we just write center of enlargement, okay? In Bahasa Melayu, it's called the pusat pembesaran, okay? Okay, what about the constant ratio? What do we call that? We call that the scale factor, right? Or the factor scala, right? So in enlargement, this is the two important information, right? The center and the scale factor. Without these two things, you cannot do enlargement, right? Okay, so I think this is only worth 2 marks, so this is good enough, right? Okay, now let's do B. Diagram 30.1 shows the three triangle ABC, ADC, EFG. Let's check. ABC, okay. ADC, okay, the small one. And then the EFG, the big one. The EFG is the big one. But we still don't know which one is the object, which one is the image. So it's like, we cannot, how to say, we cannot write anything now. So let's keep reading here. So down here it says what? Transformation R is a rotation of 90 degree about the origin. Okay, when they give you rotation center, straight away go to the diagram and put a cross at the center, right? So I will use red color. So draw a cross at the center. Okay. All right. So they say center is the origin. So we draw at the origin. Okay. Okay. Let's make the line thicker. Wait. Okay. 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 And then there will be another line here. Right. So this is the center of rotation. Right. Why you have to draw the cross now is because you want to prepare for later. So later when they ask you to draw the rotation, you can straight away do it already because you draw it now already. Okay, and I also recommend writing tengok dia punya direction. So they say 90 degree clockwise, right? So that means the direction have to ikut arah jam. Clockwise means ikut arah jam. So ikut arah jam means the direction is like this, right? But then again, I still don't know where is my object. I still don't know. I still don't know. So if the object is here, then 90 is here, lah. But if the object is maybe here, then the 90 will be here already, right? So we still don't know where's the object, but it's okay. Let's just keep reading. So let's see what else they say. Transformation T is translation 2, 4. 2 here means go the right, 4 means go up. Okay, because the atas punya number is for pergerakan kiri kanan. And if it's positive, then ke kanan lah. Nombor bawah is for pergerakan atas bawah. So if it's 4, then it's di atas. Okay, point G is the image of a transformation. So now they give you the image, not the object, the image. So they say image is point G. State the object of G. So they want to find object under combined transformation TR. So let's go and find point G first. Point G is at, where is it? It's at 511. Yeah. So 511 is the image. It means this point is after doing the two transformation. So I will put two arrows, and the point G I cannot write in front here. I have to write at the back here. Or you can say like at the that's the final answer lah. Okay. So I have to write 511 here. Okay. So this is the image, right? Because they say point G is the image. Now they want you to state the object of image G under combined transformation TR. Okay, if they say combined transformation TR means we have to do R first. Okay, so the first transformation is R, the second arrow is T. And now my job is to fill in this and this, right? But you can, but if you, it means you have to do it backwards lah. You have to do in reverse, right? So why you have to do it in reverse is because you are finding object. You're not finding image now, you're finding object, right? So what you have to do is you have to do transformation T, but you have to do it in reverse, right? And I think a lot of students don't know how to reverse the transformation. So I will teach you now how to reverse the transformation. Okay, there's some space here. I think I can use this space. Okay, let me erase this line. Okay, wait. Okay, this one. Okay, I will use this space to explain to you. So for translation, how to reverse? For translation, they will give you usually like this, right? And how you reverse is you will just take the numbers and just cut under. Cut under means you change the sign. Positive become negative, negative become positive. That's how you reverse the translation. Okay, what do I mean by reverse? Means when you want to find, when they give you image and they ask you to find object, okay, then you have to do it like you have to do it in reverse like this. Then what about reflection? Okay, reflection no need to reverse. Because reflection, they usually will give you the reflection line, right? But even if they want to, doesn't matter whether they want to find image or find object, the if you do it reverse also, it will be the same with the same with the original one. Okay, even if you do it in reverse, right? So reflection, there's nothing to reverse. Okay, for rotation, you have to jaga-jaga sikit, because rotation they will give you uh three things, right? They will give you three things. They will give you the how many degree, the angle. So they will give you, like, for example, 90 degree or 180 degree, right? And then they will also give you the direction, clockwise or anti-clockwise. And then they also give you the center, right? But when you do it in reverse, the angle will stay the same, right? The angle will stay the same. Okay, the angle will stay the same. The center also will stay the same. The only thing change is the direction. So clockwise become anti-clockwise, and then if anti-clockwise become clockwise. So later, if I want to do rotation in reverse, everything is same except the direction. The clockwise, if it's clockwise, change to anti-clockwise. If it's anti-clock, change to clock, right? Okay, so I think this is enough for me to do this question already. So let's go to the question now. Now I have to do transformation T in reverse. Transformation T is translation 2, 4. Where is it? Here, right? 2, 4, right? But since I have to do it in reverse, I have to change sign. Tukar tanda, become -2, -4, right? So what I have to do now is go to point G and translate -2, -4. Okay, then I will get the answer here, right? So 511 point G, do -2, -4. So this is 511, right? What's the meaning of -2, -4? It means you have to move left 2 and then go down 4. So if you move left 2, go down 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, this is the answer. But it's not the final answer yet. But let's write down the coordinate 3, 7, right? 3, 7. So this 3, 7, I will write it here, right? 3, 7. Okay. So I hope you all understand why I have to reverse the sign like this. It's because they give you the final answer. They want you to find the one they give you here, 511, is after the translation. You have to do it in reverse because they want to find the object. You want to find the coordinate before the translation. So that means if you start from 3, 7, if you start here and you do translation through 4, you will end up with G lah. Okay, that's what it means. But we have to find it backwards, ma. That's why we do it in reverse, -2, -4. All right, now 3, 7, I have to do what? I have to do transformation R, but in reverse, because look at the arrow, it's going that way. So we want to do it in reverse. But transformation R is a rotation, right? So they say rotation 90 degree clockwise about origin. But if you do it in reverse, what happens? It will be rotation. It will also be 90 degree also. Okay, you don't tell me like, oh, sir, 90 become 100. No, 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 no. When you reverse, also 91. And then the center origin also still same. It's also still about origin. The only thing changed is the direction, which is the clockwise become anti-clockwise. So now it becomes rotation 90 anti-clockwise about origin. So now I have to perform this, but from 3, 7. Okay, from 3, 7. So now my arrow have to change already. It's no longer clockwise, it's anti-clockwise. So I have to erase this. This is the correct one. Okay, anti-clockwise lawan arah jam. Okay, so now I will count from the center to the 3, 7, because this is the point I'm trying to rotate now. 3, 7 is the one I'm rotating, not the point G, 3, 7 I rotate. But I will rotate 90 anti-clockwise origin. So my answer will end up here later, right? Because you rotate 90 anti-clockwise. So this will be 90 degree, 180, this one 270, right? So the answer will definitely be in the top left corner. So now we can start to count how many units. And I always teach my own student, count how many horizontal first. Don't count vertical first. Okay, horizontal first. So 1, 2, 3. So horizontal 3 and then vertical 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So horizontal 3, vertical 7. And then you have to terbalik. Because when you rotate 90 degree, you have rotate 90 degree memang kena terbalik. So horizontal 3, vertical 7. Terbalik become horizontal 7, vertical 3. But when you do horizontal 7, vertical 3, you have to go back to the center and you have to go horizontal this way to the left. 4, 5, 6, 7. And then vertical 3 have to go up. Okay. How I know I have to go left and then go up? Because I already know the answer will be here, ma. Right? Takkanlah you pergi 7, 7, 3 macam ni ataupun 7, 3 macam ni. Takkanlah you, it's not possible, right? Like you just think logic lah. The answer I already tell you is here. So of course you move towards the answer. So 3, 7 becomes 7, 3, and always count horizontal first. Okay, this is your answer. -3. What is this? -3, 3, is it? no, -7. Sorry, it's -7, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, -7 and then 3. So this is your final answer. Yeah, this is the final answer. Or you can say this is the object because they want to find object, right? Yeah, the object coordinate. So let's write one more time for them. Dot, 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 -7, 3. And then they will give you full marks here, right? So this is the final answer. Okay, hope you understand my explanation. Now let's do C1. C1 says triangle ADC is the image of ABC under transformation M. Describe transformation M. So if they tell you who's the object, who's the image, then it's better to write the separate arrow separate lah. So you can write this arrow. ADC is image, so ADC will be here because image means the like the ending. Okay, like okay, you end with that, and then ABC will be the object. So you start with this, right? You start with ABC and then you end with ADC. So let's go to the diagram. Where's the object? Where's the image? So ABC is this one. So I'll label it O, and then ADC is this one, which is the image, right? So as you can see, this is reflection, right? It's quite easy to see it actually. The reason why I know because, okay, I know it's not enlargement because it's same size, right? And I know it's not translation because the orientation changed already, right? And it's either reflection or rotation. And if you draw lines, you can see it already because the corresponding point here is like same, and then the corresponding point for A is also A, and then the only line is here, right? And you can see that if the line look like this, they are all parallel, right? And if when you join the line of the corresponding point and all the lines look like this parallel, then it's a reflection. Yeah, it's a reflection, right? So now I can, okay, wait, what happened here? Wait, okay. So now I can go and write reflection lah. But when you write reflection, you have to mention the reflection line. So where is the reflection line? So I will draw it for you now. The reflection line is this line, right? This line, right? And this line is the EG line, right? So you can just write reflection, transformation M. Transformation M is reflection, reflection on the line, or you can write in the line also can, on the line. What's the line? EG. Okay. Okay, there's another way to do this. If you don't want to write the line EG, you can also find the equation of this line. Okay, you can also find the equation of this line and then write the equation, right? Okay, I will show you how to do that. So if you want to find the equation of line EG, you don't tell me y equals x. No, 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 no. Y equals x is when your line is exactly 45 degree and it passes through 0, 0. Like this. Like this, then only is y equal x, like this. Okay, and it has to passes through the 0, 0, then, okay. The line I want now is different. Okay, it's parallel with the y equal x linear line is parallel, but it's not the same equation. They don't have the same equation. So the way we do it is we will write y equals mx plus c because that's the equation of straight line, and then we have to find the gradient and y-intercept. Okay, the y-intercept I already know is 6. So straight away I'll just put 6, right? Because yeah, the y-intercept is 6. For the gradient, I need 2 points. So let's use 0, 6. The other one I can use this, which is negative. What is this? Negative 6, 0. So when you find gradient, you take y minus y divided x minus x. So it becomes 0 minus 6, y minus y, and then x minus x, negative 6 minus 0. So the answer will be negative 6 divided negative 6, which is 1. And when we rewrite the equation, we will get y equals 1x plus 6. So this is the equation of the reflection line. So we can also write what? Transformation M is reflection on the line. This one, y equal x plus 6. Okay, can also, you can also write like that. Okay, but if they got label the line using alphabet, then it's better to just use the labeling, right? Like for example, this one, you can just call it the line EG. Okay, so it's much more simple. Okay, let's do number 2. Number 2 says it is given that the triangle ABC represents the region of area 21 meters square. Let's go to diagram. ABC is this one, 21. It means the object is 21. But do you know that this reflection image also 21? Because when you reflect, the size never change. It means the area also never change. So they are both 21 here. And then what else? Calculate the area of shaded region. Okay, when you see the word area appears in your transformation question, you will immediately use this formula. Area of image equals to k square times with area of object. Okay, this is the formula that we need to use. Okay, in transformation, when you see area, when you do area question, definitely this formula, right? And the 21 must be the object. right? You know why, right? Because because that's the object. This one is before enlargement, right? So yeah, that's the object. And then for the k, it will be the scale factor, right? So I have to find the scale factor, and then I will get my area of image. And area of image in this case will be the big triangle here, EFG triangle. Okay, but now let's find the scale factor, right? Find the scale factor. Okay, scale factor formula is take the length of image divide the length of object. So we can see that the big triangle here is the image. The small, we can make this the image lah, the big triangle. Okay, and then these two small triangle, that's the object. All right. When we are finding scale factor, we need two corresponding side. So we can use this side here, right? And then the corresponding side for this will be here, right? So let's count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this will be 6. This one is 2 unit, and your scale factor will be 6 divided 2. Not 2 divided 6, it's 6 divided 2, because you tengah jadikan the big one is you assume that the big one is the image, right? You let the big one becomes the image. So then your scale factor becomes 3. Okay, so this will become 3. Okay, let me tell you something. You can also do 2 divided 6 actually. You can also take 2 divided 6, because in this question they never mention who's the image of enlargement. So the small one can be the image of enlargement also. So you can also do 2 divided 6 here. But if you do 2 divided 6 here, you'll get 1/3, right? Can also. But if you do like that, then your 21 have to write at the area of image already. Because you tengah jadikan the small one, because it means that you make the small one the image. It means the 21 is the area of image, right? So can also. But if you want to do it like me, then 21 will be the object, and then k will be 3 lah. Okay, so what is 9 times 21? Press calculator. My calculator give me 189. The unit, you will follow what they write here, meter square, so you also write meter square. But this is not the answer. They want area of shaded region in meter square. So the area of shaded region will be 189. So 189 is not the answer, because 189 is the big triangle area. You have to minus 21, because you don't want this part, right? The shaded region does not include this 21, right? Does not include this small triangle. So I have to minus 21, then I will get the answer. Okay. All right. So the final answer is 168 meter square. Okay. So that is the final answer. Okay. Sudah siap. All right. Let's do number 14. So let's read the question. Diagram 14 in the answer space shows the JK graph that represents the journey of the car driven by alpha from town B to town A. Okay, let's observe the diagram. Okay, this is the diagram. Okay, let's read again. JK graph. Where is the JK graph? So JK graph is this one, right? And they say JK represents what? Journey of the car driven by alpha from town B to town A. So what I can do is I can highlight. So I highlight this. Oh, and by the way, this is a distance time graph. Okay, so highlight this. This is for town B, right? And then the other one is town A. So this is town A, right? Town A. And as you can see, the alpha, okay, this person named Alpha, she traveled from town B to town A. Yeah, because when the time is 0, dia duduk dekat sini. So it's at town B, right? And then it moved for 65 minutes. After 65 minutes, he reached town A, right? So this is Alpha's journey. So Alpha. Okay, let's keep reading. At the same time, Huda, okay, this is another person. And where Huda go? He go from A to B. So Huda must start here then. Must start at 0, 0. But let's learn about her journey now. Huda took a bus from A to B, okay? And then the bus traveled for 30 minutes before stopping at the bus stop, which is 28 kilometers from town A. Okay, I think I can draw Huda's graph now, right? So I will use ruler. So what it says here, travel for 30 minutes before stopping. So it will move, so the from 0 minute to 30 minutes, she's moving, right? She's moving. So the coordinate will be here lah, 30 minutes. But then after 30 minutes, stopping, right? Stopping, which is 28 kilometers from town A. So yeah, after moving 28 kilometers from town A, which is here, 28, right? This one 28, and then you stop. So when stop, the line have to be like this. Okay, because distance time graph means what? When your line like this means your time is time tengah jalan, tapi you punya distance tak berubah. Okay, you can see the time is changing, but the distance is never changing. It means that it stopped here, right? Okay, after stopping here, what happens here? Let's see. Uh, Before stopping a bus stop, which is 28 kilometers from town A. So sir stop. And then, okay, then after 35 minutes, okay. Stop for 35 minutes, okay. The bus continue, okay, continue journey for 120 kilometer at a speed of 100 and reaches town B at nth minute. Okay, so after stopping for 35 minutes, which is here, because 30 plus 35 is 65, and then he continued the journey until he reached the destination, town B. So I think I have to just draw a line here, and they even mention here, reaches town B at nth minute. And if you look here, yeah, n minute is here, right? So what happens here is he traveled for 120 kilometer. So from here to here, the distance traveled is 120 kilometer. And they also give us something here, the speed, right? Okay, let me tell you, this speed is actually the gradient. The speed is actually the gradient, because in distance time graph, you can find the speed by using gradient. Okay. Uh, I think I have to write the unit. So okay, let's write nicely. Speed equals to 100 kilometer per hour. Okay. So remember, distance time graph, can use gradient to find speed. So if they say speed is 100, it means they are trying to say the gradient of this line is 100. Okay, the gradient of this line is 100. Okay, and I also realized we can actually find the value of m, right? Just take 28 plus 120, because they say here to here they travel 120 kilometer. So you can just take 120 plus 28 to find m, right? Okay, but let's see what the soalan wants. Okay, soalan A says complete diagram 14 by drawing the distance time graph journey taken by Huda. This one is for Huda. So I already complete. Wow, 6 marks for this. All right, so okay, I'll take it. Okay, done already. Okay, so A, I already complete the graph. Now the next part is doing B, right? Okay, so for the B working, I will write it here. Okay, let's see what they want. Based on the graph in answer space 14A, state the value of M. Okay, I don't want to do here, I do down here. So state the value of M. Okay, I told you already, M is like 28 plus 120. So I'll just write here, M equals 28 plus 120, and the answer will comes out in 148 kilometers. Okay, kilometers. So let's go to the diagram, and then here write 148. 148. Okay, next question, what they want? Calculate the value of n. Where is n? N is down here, right? So which information do you think you will use to find n? Gradient lah. The speed lah. The speed, right? I told you already, the speed is actually the gradient, right? So what we can do is we can write down this point, and then find the gradient. Okay, so let's write down the coordinate first. The coordinate here is n148. So I will do it here, n148. And then the next one is, okay, I'll write here lah, n148. And then the next coordinate here, okay, which this line, we are doing this line. This one is 6528. 6528. Okay, but there is a problem actually. You cannot straight away take 148 minus 28 divide n minus 65. You cannot do like that to find the gradient, because the gradient we have already, the speed is 100, but look at the unit. The unit here is 100 kilometer per hour. But this one is kilometer per minute. The y-axis is in kilometer, the x-axis is in minute, right? So when we find gradient, when we take y minus y, we will take 148 minus 28, right? And this one is in kilometer, of course, right? Of course, because it's like the distance, right? 148, 28. But when you take n minus 65, it will comes out in n minus 65. It will comes out in minute, right? Because n and 65, they are both minute. And when you take n, you will automatically come out in minutes, right? And if I calculate like this, I cannot equals to 100, because 100 is in kilometer per hour. So I have to make sure this one is in hour also, then only my calculation will be in hour. So what I will do here is I will divide 60 here. Then this minute becomes hours already. Understand, right? Because that's how you convert minute to hour, is you divide 60. But make sure you put bracket nicely down here. Okay. So this is how you do it. Okay, now we can continue. Okay, I need more space. So what I will do, I'll make this smaller. Okay, so now I will continue here, and I will write 148 minus 28 is 120, right? And then equals, Okay, how can I solve this? Times. Okay, I think I can move this whole thing up here. Okay, because everything, the fraction is kat bawah. So when you move up, becomes times lah. So it becomes 100 times with this whole thing, n minus 65 over 60, right? And then now I can just pindah lah. So I will pindah the 100 first. 120 divided 100 is 1.2. And then this is n minus 65 over 60. And then pindah 60 become times 60. So just press calculator. 1.2 times 60, 72. Okay, and then now you can find your n, 72 plus 65, 137. So your n is 137, and what's the unit? Minutes. Okay, minutes. Okay, minutes. Okay, okay, okay. Let's write again here lah. Dot n equals 137 minutes. Okay, so this is how you do m and n, right? So I hope you understand why I need to divide 60 here. Because if I don't divide 60, then I will get the wrong answer. Because this is kilometer per minute, this one is kilometer per hour. They don't match, right? They're not the same unit. Okay, that's why you have to use hours. But when after you do all this working, you get your n. The n will be in minutes. The final answer will automatically be in minutes already one. Okay. Okay, so I hope you understand. So that's yep. Now we can do our last part. So part C says what? Calculate the difference. Difference means besar tolak kecil. When you see difference means you have to take besar tolak kecil. So calculate difference in average speed in kilometer per hour between the car driven by Alpha and the car and the bus taken by Huda for their entire journey. So I need to find average speed for both person. Okay, for both of them. So I will use this space down here to find average speed. So the C working, I'll do it here. So let's do for Alpha first. Okay, how to find the average speed for Alpha? Okay, you need to know the formula for average speed. Average speed formula is total distance over total time. Okay, total distance over total time. So for Alpha, the total distance traveled is 148 kilometers. Okay, because you travel from B to A. So that's the total distance, 148 kilometers. I would even recommend writing the unit. And then what is the time taken? 65 minutes. 65 minutes, right? But did you notice they want the average speed in kilometer per hour? So everything do in kilometer per hour lah. So now this one I cannot do 65 minutes. So how to convert minutes to hour? You divide 60, right? But make sure you open bracket here. Okay, because if you don't open bracket, then it becomes like this already. If you don't open bracket, it becomes like this. And if you press this in your calculator will do like this. It will do 148 divided 65 first. Then it's wrong already because these two are two different things. Okay, so make sure you open bracket. Okay, so now we can press our calculator, and make sure when you press the bracket also. Okay, because kalau tak nanti salah. Alright, so I'm pressing my calculator now. Okay, I'm done. My calculator give me 136 point. Okay, there's a lot of decimal place here. So I think I will just write in fraction lah, better. So I will just write in fraction 1776.13. 1776 over 13, and this will be kilometer per hour. Okay, now for Huda, do the same thing, find the average speed. Okay, because they ask for, and then later find the difference. Okay, average speed for Huda. The total distance is also 148 kilometer. Okay, because yeah, she traveled 28 here 0, here no distance, and then here travel 120. So 120 plus 28 is 148. So the total distance is also 148 kilometer, but the total time taken is n, which is n is 139 just now. 139 minutes. You do it 137, sorry. 137. You do it just now already, right? You already know n is 137. So this one have to divide 137 minutes, and again you have to convert to hour by divide 60. Why? Because they want the average speed in kilometer per hour. Okay, so now it's time to press this and then see what we get. Okay, 148 times 60 divided 137. Okay, my calculator give me 8880 over 137. So this is the average speed in kilometer per hour for Huda. Okay, now we can find out the difference. Okay, now we can find the difference. So I need some space. I will make this smaller. Okay, so I will write here dot difference. So the difference will be besar tolak kecil, right? So which one lebih besar? Okay, this one is 64 point something. And then this one is 136 point something. So I have to take the besar one lah. So tolak this one. So it'll be 1776 over 13 minus 8880 over 137. Now only I will write my answer in decimal. And I will write 4 significant figure. Okay, let's press. Minus 8880 over 137. Okay, my calculator give me 71.797866. Okay, you don't have to write so many decimal place one. Just write four significant figure. So 71.797. So it's 71.80 lah. Because 71.79, the next number is like 7. You have to plus 1. So 71.80 and the unit is kilometer per hour. Because when you take, because both the unit is kilometer per hour, so when you find the difference also, it will comes out in kilometer per hour. Okay, all right, so I think that's the C answer. Yeah, 3 marks. Okay, that's all. Okay, number 15, let's continue. This is a motor insurance question, and for motor insurance, I'll explain to you first how to calculate the motor insurance. Okay, all right, so let's write down here motor insurance. So let's talk about what is it? Comprehensive policy. Okay, we have 3 policy, right? Comprehensive policy, third party policy, and then third party fire and theft, right? Okay, how to calculate the comprehensive policy punya basic premium? I will even write in Bahasa Melayu for you. This is my nota. Okay, this is like nota for you. Okay, basic premium in Bahasa Melayu is premium asas. The formula is you have to go to your motor tarif. MT means motor tarif. Okay, and then plus with what? Plus with uh sum insured minus 1000 divide by 1000 times with 26 if it's in Peninsula Malaysia, but times if 20.3 if it's in Sabah Sarawak. Okay, so I repeat one more time. To get the basic premium for comprehensive policy, you have to refer your motor tariff, and also you need to learn how to read the motor tariff, right? The motor tariff, usually they will give you like how many cc here, and then yeah, they will give you Peninsula, that one. Okay, but I don't want to go into details lah. Okay, but there's a method lah that you kena belajar macam mana mau baca motor tarif. So I will just give you like the basic now. So you have to baca the motor tarif, and then plus with the sum insured. This one they will give in soalan, minus 1000 divide 1000, and then times 26 if it's in Peninsula, times 20.3 if it's in Sabah Sarawak. Okay, so this one is the formula to find basic premium. And how to get the gross premium? To get the gross premium in Bahasa Melayu is premium kasar. You have to take the basic premium answer. After you do all this, take the answer, the basic premium answer. So I'll just write BP lah. Just write short form. So just write the basic premium answer minus with the NCD. Okay. All right. So this is how you calculate comprehensive for comprehensive. Okay. Okay. Let's talk about an other formula. So now let's talk about third party fire and theft. Okay, in Bahasa Melayu is pihak ketiga kebakaran dan kecurian. So for the third party fire and theft policy, how to get the basic premium? Okay, you cannot look at the motor tariff for this, because in motor tariff, you can only get the value for comprehensive and third party only. So for third party fire and theft, the basic premium you have to use another formula, which is 75% times with the basic premium for comprehensive. This one all you have to remember, all have to hafal. This one all very important. Okay, so how to get basic premium for third party fire and theft? 75% times basic premium for comprehensive. It means you have to do this one first lah. You have to do this one first, then only you can sub inside here. Okay, that's the method. Okay, then how to get the gross premium? Same like just now, take your basic premium answer, but this time your basic premium is from here, and then minus with the NCD. Okay, the discount. Okay, all right. For the last one is third party policy. This one is the easiest one. Okay, this one is the easiest one. So for your basic premium, you can look at your motor tariff, this one. Okay, because in your motor tariff, you can get your third party punya amount. Okay, but you have to check the CC lah. You have to check read according to the how many CC and all that. Okay, and then for the gross, and then that's all. You just tengok you punya motor tarif, you terus dapat already for third party. And then for the gross, you will just take the value, the basic premium amount minus with the NCD. So you can see the third party one is very simple one. You just butcher from your motor tarif, then you straight away get your basic already. And then to get your gross, just minus NCD. So everything I write here, you have to know. You have to remember, or else you cannot do motor insurance. So number 1, number 2, number 3, all these formulas, you need to have it in your head when you are doing your SPM. Okay. So now with that being said, now I will read this question. Okay. Okay. Number 15A. Hussein works in a company in Peninsula. So is this important? Of course, it's important. Of course. Yeah, because Peninsula, it will affect your premium, right? Okay, tupper. And then what else? Has a car as shown in diagram 15, which he bought 5 years ago. Okay, this is not important. The 5 years is not important. The age of vehicle is not important. Okay, now let's see here. NCD 35%. Okay. He wants to renew his car insurance, which has NCD is 35%. Okay, they mentioned here already. And then they mention it here again. Okay. Given the basic premium of comprehensive is 2200.40. So that means the basic premium for comprehensive, they already calculate all this for me already. They already tell, we don't have to take out motor tariff and then take the times 26 times, no need already. They already do it for me. Okay, they already give it to me, the answer. How much? 2200.4. So this 2200.4 is the amount after you do all these things. All the steps here, they do already. And then they already tell you the answer, 2200.4. So what else they want? They want to calculate the gross premium, which is the premium kasar that Hussein would pay if he were to purchase a third party fire and theft. Okay, I want to ask you, can I take 2200.4 minus 35%? No. The answer is no. Because if you take 2200.4 minus 35%, you are finding the gross premium for comprehensive. You are finding the gross premium for comprehensive. But what they are asking here, gross premium for third party fire and theft. That means I have to use this formula. So first is finding the basic premium first. You can't find gross premium without getting the basic premium. And the basic premium for third party fire and theft is not 220.4. It's 75% times 220.4. Because the formula is like this, 75% times basic premium for comprehensive, right? So what I'll write here is I write basic premium first. Basic premium for third party fire and theft will be 75% times with 2200.4. And I have to press calculator to see what I get lah. Okay, so let me press. Okay, my calculator give me 1650.3. Okay, let's write RM 50.3. Okay, after getting the basic premium for the third party fire and theft, now can get the gross premium just minus the NCD, right? So the gross premium ataupun the premium kasar in Bahasa Melayu will be 1650.3 minus with the discount. So usually how I teach my student is I will teach them to write like this, minus bracket, and the NCD is 35%, right? So you have to minus 35% from 1650.30. Okay. You press the whole thing here, you get your answer. Okay. Okay, let's press. I will press the one here first. 35 divided 100 times 1650.3, and then 1650.3 minus answer. Okay, let me press again. 35 over 100 times 1650.3, and then 1650.3 minus answer. Okay, my calculator give me 1072. So write RM 1072.695. But this is RM. RM usually you write 2 decimal place. So 695 becomes 70. It means the gross premium is 1072 ringgit 70 cents. Okay, so this is the gross premium. So did you realize how easy it is for you if you just memorize? So yeah, when we are doing motor insurance, you have to memorize. You have to remember. Okay, you have to memorize everything. And if you got memorized like me, then it's like very easy for you to get the answer, because all you need to do is just follow the step given here. Okay, so this one very important. And I also want to mention something here. Did you realize they never mentioned 75% here? Yeah, they never mentioned in the soalan the 75%, right? Yeah, memang macam tu kan. The exam will not tell you. You have to memorize. You kena hafal. Dia tak bagi tahu pun yang 75% ni dekat soalan. You kena tahu, you kena hafal lah. You kena hafal, alright? Yang ni pun dia takkan bagi tahu. Yang ni times 26 times 20.3 also they never give you. Alright? They will not give you in the exam one. You have to sendiri hafal one. Okay, but this question we never use the 2620.3 because they are not asking us to find for comprehensive policy. They are asking to find this, right? But the paling famous one is this one. Okay, the comprehensive they really like to ask one. Okay, so make sure you know the whole thing. Bukan saja you tahu satu saja, you know all three. Okay, you know all three. You need to know all this. Okay, all right. So I hope my explanation helps. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, question B is fire insurance. So fire insurance, I'll give you the notes for fire insurance now. So I need some space. So let me make this smaller. Okay, so I will do the notes here. I'll give you some notes here. Okay, so here I will write fire insurance, or you can call it property insurance. Okay, okay, for fire insurance, I will always start with this formula, amount of required. Okay, you will always start with this formula, amount of required, and the formula is you take the insurable value times with the co-insurance percentage. Okay, and when you use this formula, you will dapat you punya amount of required insurance, jumlah yang harus dibeli. Okay, and after you use this formula, the next step is you have to check whether it's case 1, case 2, or case 3. Okay, case 1, case 2, or case 3. Okay, so if it's case 1 is when your insured value, insured means purchased, insured means purchased, yang sudah dibeli, yang sudah beli is kurang, is less than your required. It means jumlah yang sudah dibeli kurang daripada jumlah yang harus dibeli. Not kurang. Sorry. This is equal. Sorry. So your insured value is equals to your required. It means that jumlah yang dibeli sama dengan jumlah yang harus dibeli, right? So if it's this case, then your compensation means like the amount the company pay you when got loss. Okay, alright. So compensation is the jumlah yang company bagi you bila ada rugi lah. Okay, the amount yang company bagi kita, itulah dia punya compensation. And the formula will be loss minus deductible. Okay, so this one is the first one, the first part you have to hafal. Case number 2 is when your insured value means the amount you purchase is less than the required one. It means you buy less than the required. Okay, you harus beli amount ni tapi you beli kurang daripada dia. So then if you beli kurang, then your compensation will be less already. It will be lesser. And the formula to calculate it is you take your the amount purchased over the required, right? And since your purchase is less than the required, the atas punya number will be smaller. Okay, because you purchase less than the required, right? Okay, and then you times with loss minus deductible. Okay, so this is the formula you need to hafal. And then case 3 is total loss. Okay, when total loss means the whole thing burned down already, like nothing left. Okay, it's not like small part of loss, it's like total loss, the whole thing gone already. So if total loss, then we don't care about whether he got buy according to the required value, because for case 3, the compensation will just be the insurance purchased, like how much he purchased minus the deductible. Okay, this one if it's case 3 lah, then it's like this. Okay, because it's already suffered total loss already. So total loss is like very kesian already. So takkan lah we want to so it's like very kesian already. So we don't care whether it's like the the purchase value is like less than required or is it equal. We don't care already, right? So we just take how much he purchased minus the deductible, then enough already, right? Okay, so this is my nota for you for fire insurance. I want to mention something for case 2. I will put star here and I will write co-insurance penalty. Okay, I usually forget to talk about this. Okay, the co-insurance, but I sometimes I forget to talk about this sometimes because this one not always comes out one, the penalty. Okay, so co-insurance penalty, I'll just talk about it because this question I think they got asked. Is it? Yeah. They got asked. So I think it's better I talk about it now. So the co-insurance penalty is what? Okay, why got penalty is because you buy less than the required value. Okay, for case 1 there's no penalty. Okay, but for case 2 there's penalty because you buy less than it. That's why you have to bear more. You have to, how to say? You have to be responsible for more of the loss because your insured value is less than the required, right? That's why your compensation is lesser, right? It's lesser. So there's a penalty here, right? Because you buy less than the required. And the formula to calculate the penalty is very simple. You will just take the other side of the fraction here. So purchased over required times loss, right? What you have to do is take the other side of the fraction. What do I mean by that? It means you have to take the required amount minus with the purchased, because you want to get the balance, like you want to get the other side of the fraction, okay? And then divide with the required and then times with the loss. So this is the formula to calculate co-insurance penalty, okay? So I hope you understand what I'm saying here. Okay, let me write again nicely. Purchased, right? So this formula also you have to hafal, but this one not always they ask one lah. This one is like they didn't ask this like often, but it's important to know also. So the penalty, the formula is like this: take the required value minus the amount purchased, divide required times loss. In other words, you are just finding the other side of this fraction, the other side of the fraction. So for example, this fraction is 2 over 5. Then the other side will be 3 over 5. Because 5 minus 2 is 3 ma. And then times with the loss. Okay? The deductible tak payah. Deductible tak payah. So yeah, you're just getting the other side of fraction. Okay, it's okay. I'll explain using the question now. Right? So now you will understand more when I explain using the question. Okay, B. Let's read the question. Hussein also has fire insurance for his house. Okay, no problem. The insurance company determined that the insurable value is 780,000. So remember, when we do fire insurance, always start with this formula. We will always start with this formula. Doesn't matter which state paper, which question, which book, which publisher book, I don't care. That doesn't matter which question. You will always, when you do fire insurance, you will always start with this formula, mesti. So later the insurable value already give us, and then they also mentioned about the fire insurance policy he purchased had a co-insurance 90%, and then the deductible is 8,500. Number one says calculate the amount of required insurance. You see, for his house. So what formula? You use this one, required. Take the insurable value times with the percentage. So what is it? 780K times with 90%. And then press calculator. Cut. So the answer would be 7800 times 9. Okay, my calculator give me 702 and then 1000. But write RM, 702,000. Okay, so this is the amount of required insurance. Then what about the 8,500? That one don't use it. That one is the deductible. Deductible, we don't use it first. That one, the deductible will only look at it when we find compensation. When we find compensation, then only we got use the deductible. I show you my notes already. Okay, now let's do question 2. So question 2 says, in an incident, Hussein's house caught on fire and the loss is 39800. Now we will use the deductible already. Calculate the amount of compensation. See, that Hussein will receive if he only insure, what is insure? Purchase. Okay, beli, his house at a sum of 580,000. Okay, before you calculate compensation, you need to check whether it's case 1, case 2, or case 3 first. If you don't know which case, then you will use the wrong formula, then you will get the wrong answer. So you have to check, is it case 1, case 2, or case 3 first? And in order to check which case, we have to compare the insured value and the required value. So what is the insured amount? What is the purchased amount? 580,000. What is the required amount? 700,000. That means your insured value is less than the required amount. If your insured amount is less than the required amount, is it case 1, case 2, or case 3? It's case 2. And if it's case 2, the formula we use is this, right? If you want to find compensation, we have to use this. So insured less than required. It means jumlah yang dibeli kurang daripada jumlah yang harus awak beli. So the compensation is like this. So I will write down the formula now. For the compensation, it will be what's the formula? The amount purchased divide amount of required. And the amount purchased is lesser. So the amount he insure means purchase is 580,000. And then divide with required. The required is 702,000. So now you understand, right, why we have to use this formula first. Because if you don't use this formula, how you supposed to know that you're required? And if you don't know you're required, how you know whether it's case 1 or case 2? Understand, right? Because you need your required, then only you know like whether this guy got purchased the but then only you can compare the purchase amount and see whether it's case one or case two. So hope you understand. Okay, the formula continues with this direct loss minus deductible. So you just follow only, just follow the notes. So times with loss, the loss is 398,000 minus deductible. Deductible just now I said never use it, right? But now use it already. 8,500 here. So you just put it in and then just press calculator. Okay, cut. This one, okay, that's all. All right, so now let's press 580 divide 702 times 398,000 minus 8500. Okay, my calculator give me 320, but write RM. So RM 320 and then 331.908. So 91 cents. Okay, write two decimal place because this is RM. Okay, so hope you understand. So anything else? That's all, right? They only want the compensation, so 3 marks for this. Okay, that's all done already. Okay, now let's do number 3. Is Hussein subject to a co-insurance penalty? Justify your answer. Yes. 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 He will get he will have a co-insurance penalty. The reason why is because his insured value is less than the required. Okay. Only case 2 have co-insurance penalty. Okay. Co-insurance penalty only exists when your insured amount is less than your required. For case 1, there's no penalty. For case 1, there's no penalty, right? Because there's no other side of fraction here. Because you buy insured and required same amount. So the other side of the fraction is 0. Right? Is 0. So like but for case 2, there will be co-insurance penalty because your purchase is less than your required. It means there is like a portion that is like you are not purchasing. You understand, right? There's like there's another side of the fraction that you are not uh you are not calculating, and that is the penalty lah, the other side of the fraction, right? So only have penalty when it's case 2. All right, so now let's go back here. There it says, is Hussein subject to co-insurance penalty? Yes. And what's the justification? What's the reason? Okay, the reason. So the reason you can just say because, okay, because, okay, because the insurance, the insured value, or you can say the insured value or the insurance purchased. Okay, the insured value, okay, means the purchased, the amount purchased is less than the required amount of required insurance. Amount of required insurance. Okay. Or you can also write like this, because the amount of insurance purchased is less than the amount of required insurance. Yeah. So you get 1 mark for this, right? Okay, but I want to show you how to calculate the co-insurance penalty. But I don't think this question asks for that. But I want to show you. Okay, I want to show you because in case what if they come out in SPM, right? Okay, but for this question actually no need lah. It's only worth 1 mark only. This one they only ask yes or no and then write the reason only. But I will teach also lah. Because since we are here already, let's just talk about it also. So how to find the penalty? I told you already, right? Take the other side of the fraction, right? This is the formula: required minus purchase or required times loss. In other words, you are just taking the other side of this fraction. So what's the other side? It will be 702,000. So there's a portion here that you are not calculating, right? So you have to minus the 5800 to get the balance lah, and then divide 702,000 times with the loss. Okay, the deductible no need. That's all. So this is how you calculate. And if you press this, you get the answer. Okay, let's press. 702,000 minus 580,000 divide 702,000 times 398. Okay, if you press everything correctly, you will get 69168. 69168. 0.09. Okay, but this working you only do if they ask you to calculate the penalty. Okay, if they ask, then only you do this working. If no, then no need lah. So for this question, they actually never ask you to calculate the penalty. Okay, I just mention it to you so that you know how to calculate also. Okay, because I don't want you to just understand like a bit only. I want you to understand the whole thing, right? So this is the notes lah. So as you can see, when we are doing insurance question, it's always about memorizing. It's always about formulas, right? It's always about formula. You just have to hafal, right? Like for motor insurance, it's also like this. For fire insurance, it's also like this, right? A lot of stuff you need to remember, but if you remember it, if you memorize it, it will be easy for you. Okay, it will be easy for you to do those questions, right? Okay, hope you understand. Okay, now we are at section C. Section C, they only want us to answer one of the question, but I will answer both in this video. Okay, number 16. Encik Ashraf is a successful burger entrepreneur since year 2023. This one, not important here. And then they says, A, Encik Ashraf has launched two new special menus, which are garden burger and double lamb burger as shown in diagram 16.1. So garden burger, the first menu, the other one is double lamb burger, and they give you the price here, right? Okay. Okay, looking at this make me hungry. Yeah. So okay, so how to do? He wants to give a price to the best customer who gets the price of both burgers in base 10. So they give you the price in base 2, base 3. So you just change to base 10. So the garden burger. So 1, 0, 0, 1, base 2. How to convert to base 10? So you will times, right? When you're changing a smaller base to base 10, you will use the times punya cara. Times punya cara is like you have to write down the place value and then times and then plus everything. Okay, if it's base 2, the place value will be 2 power 0, 2 power 1, 2 power 2, 2 power 3. So when you times, you will get 2 power 3 times 1 plus with, okay, 2 power 2 times 0, don't need to write because when you times 0 is 0. This one times 0 is 0 also, no need to write. If you want to write, then you write plus 0. It's like, so that's why I don't want to write. Okay, so plus 2 power 0 times 1 like this. Okay, if you press this, you will get RM 9. And don't forget to write base. Okay, in number based question, I always recommend to write the base. Okay, okay, so that's the garden burger price in base 10, 9 ringgit. For double lamb burger, 210 base 3. So this is base 3. How to convert to base 10? Same lah. You will also use the times method, the multiply punya cara. But you have to write down the place value before, then only you times. Okay, for base 3, the place value is 3 power 0, 3 power 1, 3 power 2. Always start with power 0. Okay, so you will times atas dengan bawah. So 3 power 2 times 2. And then the next one is 3 power 1 times 1. And then the last one is 3 power 0 times 0. But I won't write that because 3 power 0 times 0 is 0. And then when you plus 0, it's like nothing happens. So no need to write. Okay, so calculate this in your calculator. You will get 18 plus 3, which is 21 ringgit. So write RM and then base 10. Okay. Okay, so I think this is the part A, only worth 2 marks only. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Okay, let's do B. Encik Ashraf intends to give his latest burgers as a donation at a ceremony to celebrate Kampung Dingin senior citizens. The amount of both types of burgers to be donated is at most 80 pieces. Okay, I think this is a linear inequality question. Why I know is because I see this word at most. At most means kurang sama dengan, smaller or equals, right? And this symbol only comes out in the linear inequality chapter. Dalam bahasa Melayu, ketaksamaan linear. Ketaksamaan linear. So this is the inequality chapter. Form 4, chapter 6. Okay. Alright. So let's see what they want. At most 80. The number of senior who eat the garden burger is at least. Okay. At least means bigger or equals. Because sekurang-kurangnya mah. Sekurang-kurangnya means lebih besar atau sama dengan. Twice the number of senior who eat the double lamb burger. Okay. When we are doing our linear inequality question, we always need to know what the XY represents. Because if we don't know what the XY represents, it's very hard for me to write down the inequality. So I still don't know what my XY represents, right? But if you keep reading, they will mention it here. You see, number 1, they say what? The variable Y represents garden burger. So now I know garden burger is Y. And then X represents double lamb burger. So now I know double lamb burger is X. And then they say write two linear inequalities other than x bigger 0, y bigger 0, representing the terms of donation of burgers. So now you already know what your xy represents. Now it's easy to write your inequality. First inequality, amount of both type is at most 80. So x plus y, because the total amount of both type, right? At most 80 is smaller or equals 80. That is your first inequality. Second one, the number of senior who eat garden burger, but I already tell you garden, they mention here y, right? Garden burger, we use y to represent. At least twice the number of double lamb. So at least the symbol is bigger or equals twice double lamb. So 2x. So this is your number 1 answer. Okay. Okay. I want to explain why they mention x bigger 0, y bigger 0 here. It's because x and y represents number of burgers. Number of burgers is like a quantity. Quantity cannot negative one. So that's why they mention bigger must be positive lah, right? It cannot be less than 0, 1. How can number of burger be negative? So quantity cannot negative. That's why they mention x bigger 0, y bigger 0 here. Okay, with that, now we can do question number 2. Number 2 says, on diagram 16.2 in answer space, shade the region that satisfy the system of linear inequalities. So let's go to the diagram. Okay, I see it already. It's here. Oh, they already draw the line for me. Wow, that's good. So if they draw the line for me, okay, let's write down this answer. X plus y smaller sama dengan 80. Okay. And then the other one is y at least twice x, right? Like this, right? Okay, so they already draw for me the two lines, but we need to determine which line is which equation, okay? Or else later, because later I have to shade the region, right? So even though they draw the line for me already, but I still need to determine which line is which line, right? So I will tell you straight away, this line is x plus y equals 80. And this line is y equals to x, okay? How I know is because when you convert the inequality to equation, it will be like this: x y equals 80. And then you will find 2 points when you plot, right? And usually I will suggest to use x equals 0, y equals 0. So when x 0, your y will be 80. When y 0, your x will be 80. It means that this line, it will passes through 0, 80, and 80, 0. That's why this line is the x plus y equals 80. Okay, sometimes I see students, they make this mistake. They go and write x plus y smaller sama dengan 80 like this. Hey, this is wrong. This is wrong. So I want you to remember this. Equation menggambarkan garisan. Inequality menggambarkan kawasan. It means equal, if it's equal equation, dia adalah garisan. Okay? But the smaller, bigger, this one is the kawasan. Alright? So when you want to draw the line, you will convert to equal. Right? Then what about this smaller, bigger? This one is like when you lorek baru you tengok. When you do the shading, then only you look at this, right? When you draw the line, you don't look at this. When you draw the line, it's equation, right? When you shading, then only is like the kawasan. Then only you check the bigger or smaller. All right, so this one is 8. Okay, another line is y equals to x. So you will do the same, x equals 0, y equals 0. Okay, when you sub x 0, 0 times 2 is 0. If you sub y 0, you end up the same. So what you can sub 20 lah. Okay, x is 20, so 20 times 2 is 40. So that's why this line is y equals to x, because it passes through 0, 0, 20, 40, and you can also sub 40 also can, 40, 80, right? So yeah, this is how you determine the line. Okay, after knowing which line is which equation, now you can shading. You can do the shading part. So shade the region that satisfies. Okay, when you shade, you have to look at this symbol here. But you have to make sure the y is positive, and you have to tengok dari y. Okay, so the y is positive, tengok dari y is smaller, right? But it's referring to this line. Okay, this line. So if the line is like this, and you want the smaller, it means you will take the region below the line. Okay, it means your kawasan will be bawah garisan. So it will be here and here, right? But you also have to check the other inequality. The other one is the y is already positive also, so boleh tengok dari sini. And tengok dari sini, dia punya symbol is bigger. And it's this line, right? So bigger means atas garisan. You punya kawasan atas garisan. So atas means here and here. So which one is the overlapping part? Which region is the overlap region? Which one is the overlapping region? So the overlap region here is here, the one with 2 arrows here, right? This triangle, right? So I will erase everything here and shade the triangle. Okay. Okay, one more thing when you shading, please don't shade here. No, don't shade here, because they already mentioned x bigger 0, y bigger 0 here. It means everything happens in the first quadrant. Cannot have cannot got shading here one, because this one is talking about number of burger, total negative, right? And make sure you shade nicely. All right, so this is the answer for B. Because B, they ask you to do, not B lah, the question 2, because they say shade the region, right? Okay, so that's all. Okay, let's do number 3. Determine the maximum number of garden burger. Garden is X or Y? Okay, if you forgot, you can take out balik, it's Y, right? So number of garden burger is Y. Means they want to find Y maximum, Y maximum. If the number of double length is 20, so 20 is the X lah. Is it? Let me check. Yeah, double length is X. All right, so when X equals to 20, find the Y maximum. Okay, very easy. You just go to the graph and then go to X-axis, cari 20. So go to the graph, go X-axis, double length burger, cari 20. And then what you do, you have to draw a dotted line, because you are trying to find the Y-axis, the Y coordinate. So you tarik here. Okay, they want maximum, right? If they want maximum, you have to tarik sampai here. Okay, and then tarik sini. So this is your answer. 60 is your answer. Okay. So let me explain a bit. They want the Y maximum, right? Maximum number of garden burger. Maximum means you have to tarik until, okay, if they want minimum, then you will stop at here. You will stop at here if they want minimum. Because minimum means the first time they touch shaded region, that's the answer. Okay, so you will take, when they want minimum, you will take the first contact point with the shaded region. But if they want maximum, you will take the last contact point with the shaded region. So that's why I stop here. Why not you keep going? Because if you keep going, it's like outside the shaded region already. Okay, so the last contact point with the shaded region is here. If you keep going further up, then it's like, there's no shaded region already. So you have to refer your shaded region. So the last contact point with shaded region is here. So this is your answer. Okay. Oh, and by the way, when we do the shading, this part also included, right? Yeah. So this is the whole triangle. Okay. So this is the answer. Okay. Anything else? That's all, right? Oh my, yeah, yeah. Sudah siap. Yeah, nothing. Okay, nothing left already. Okay, so sudah siap. Now we can do question C. Okay, so let's read the question. Inche Ashraf recorded the total sales of his two new types of burger during a week. Okay, table 16.1 shows the total daily sales for both types of burger during the period. So this is the data for the sales of burger. So day one is like 47, 25, so on. Okay, using the appropriate measures of dispersion, determine which burger sales are more consistent in the market. Give your justification. Okay, let's talk about measures of dispersion. I remember talking about this in my previous video also. Okay, I think it's the Negeri Sembilan. I forgot paper 1 or paper 2. I forgot, but yeah, got one question there. I also talk about the measures of dispersion. Okay, let's talk about it again. Got 4 measures of dispersion. You have range, you have interquartile range, you have variance, you have standard deviation. Okay. The mean, median, mode, that one is no. The one mean, mode, median, that one is not measures of dispersion. That one is measures of central tendency. Itu lain. Itu bukan sukatan serakan. Itu sukatan uh, memusat. That one is sukatan kecenderungan memusat. Okay, but that one is like not not relevant to this question, so I will not mention about that. Okay, so let's come back here. Measures of dispersion is you are trying to measure how dispersed is the data. Okay, so if your measures of dispersion very high, that means it's not consistent, is less consistent lah. Okay, is less consistent if your if your measures of dispersion very high, but if your measures of dispersion very less, then it's like very consistent. Okay, because measures of dispersion is like you're trying to measure how dispersed, how betapa serak you punya data. So kalau you punya data sangat serak, then you punya jawapan untuk semua ni jadi sangat besar lah. Then dia jadi less consistent. Faham kan? Alright, so out of these 4, which measures of dispersion you can use to calculate which one is more consistent? Okay, I will tell you now. Range is the easiest one to calculate because you just take the maximum minus the minimum. For example, 47. Okay, what's the minimum here? 25, right? And then for the double lamb burger is be 40 minus 30, right? So you can straight away know who's more consistent because garden burger sales is ranging from 25 to 47. But double lamb burger the range is from 30 to 40. So the double lamb burger range is 10. And then the garden burger is 47 minus 25, which is 22. So you can straight away know which one is more consistent. Double lamb burger, because the range is smaller. The measures of dispersion is lesser. So the scale is more consistent, 30, because it's like between 30 and 40. Okay, compared to garden burger, is like you can go until 25, and then the highest can go until 47. So it's less consistent for garden burger. So the answer is double lamb burger, right? Okay, another way to check which one is more consistent is use the interquartile range. Okay, interquartile range also you can use it, and usually we use interquartile range when there is an outlier. Outlier is like extreme value. It means you have a value that is like extremely small, or maybe you have a value that is extremely big. Then it's not suitable to use range, because when you use range, you will use it's not recommended to use range when there is extreme value, because you will end up taking the extreme value in your calculation and your dispersion will be less accurate already. So it's better to use interquartile when there is outlier. And then for variance standard deviation, you will use it when you want to compare. When you want to compare two different data. Okay. So judging by the marks here, the marks given is 5 marks for one question, right? So judging by the marks given, I think what they want me to do is use standard deviation, right? Because if I use range, okay, of course I already know the answer. It's double lamb burger. It's more consistent, right? But looking at the marks appointed here, I don't think they will be, you will get full mark if you just do the range, right? They will not be satisfied with that because your working will be very like sikit. You've been working sikit saja because when you find range, it's like you just take this one minus this one minus this, and then you can do it. So I think you have to find the standard deviation. But believe me, even if you do standard deviation also, you will end up same answer one. You will get double lamb burger also. Okay. But in order to get full mark, we have to show them the working one, right? So I think I will use standard deviation. So first step, let's write down the standard deviation formula. The formula looks like this: square root sum of x square minus n minus mean square. And then the other version is square root sum of fx square divide the sum of f minus mean square. Okay, why got two formula? Okay, the first one is you will use this when there's no frequency. When there's no frequency for the data, then you use the first one. The second one, you use it when there is frequency. Usually when it's group data. When it's group data, you must use the second formula. Okay, this question is other frequency. Did you see frequency here? No, right? So if there's no frequency, I will use the first formula, which is this formula. But first, you need to find out your mean first. Because if you don't have mean later, how you want to find the standard deviation, right? So let's find the mean for garden burger and double lamb burger. Okay, so I'll write here garden. So for garden burger, what's the mean? You just pass everything and then divide 7. Okay. So how to find the mean? 47 plus 25 plus 38 plus 27 plus 33 plus 35 plus 40. Okay, I'm just taking all the values here, add them together, divide 7. Because it's like 7 days. So we calculate the mean now. Let's press calculator. 47 plus 25 plus 38 plus 27 plus 33 plus 35 plus 40. Okay, 245 over 7. And then when you divide, you get 35. So after getting the mean, now we can find our standard deviation, right? So the standard deviation formula, I told you already, you have to use this one because there's no frequency. Yeah. So let's draw everything nicely first. So this is how it looks like. This is how it looks like. But don't forget to minus the mean square. Minus the mean square. So the mean is 35. Okay, I always teach my own student. I always tell my own student, if you cannot memorize this, you just follow whatever you write at the mean. Just write the same thing. 47 plus 25. Yeah, just copy from your mean. Okay, just copy from your mean. But the only thing different here is you have to letak square lah. All have to letak square. That's all, right? Because the formula is like you have to take the sum of all the data square. Okay, it means you have to square everything and then take the sum. Okay, divide by n means divide by 7, and then minus mean, I already put it lah, 35 square. So now I press this whole thing, then I will get my standard deviation. So let's press 47 square plus 25 square plus 38 square plus 27 square plus 33 square plus 35 square plus 40 square. Okay, my calculator give me 8921 over 7. And then here is minus 35 square. Okay, now I will straight away give them the final answer. Answer divide 7 minus 35 square equals, and then square root answer. Okay, I'm pressing my calculator just now, and now I get my answer. This is 7.0305. So I think if I write in 4 cm figure, it will be 7.031. Okay. Okay, now done already for garden. Now let's do for double lamb burger. So this one is double lamb. So what is do the same thing lah. Find the mean first. So the mean, I will draw a line here. And the formula is like, you will take everything plus and then divide by 7. Hey, what if it's a group data? If it's a group data, then how to find the mean? Then you have to take midpoint times frequency, divide total frequency. Because for group data, they will give you class. And if they give you class, then your data, you have to use the midpoint to represent the class. Okay. Okay, but that one is if it's a group data lah. Okay, let's come back here. 37 plus 37 plus, what is it? 30 plus 35 plus 32 plus 34 plus 40, and then divide 7. Okay, let me press my calculator. So wait for me. I press very quickly on plus 35, plus 32, 34, plus 40. Okay, my calculator give me 245. Oh, so same like just now, huh? And then divide 7 is also 35. Oh, so it means they have the same mean, same mean. Okay, but I doubt that they will have the same standard deviation because one is, I already know one is like more consistent already. So definitely they will give you different standard deviation. Hopefully, hopefully. Okay, so let's do the standard deviation. The formula is sum of x square. It means every number square lah. So 37 square plus 37 square plus 30 square plus 35 square plus 32 square. I'm looking here, and then plus 34 square, and then plus 40 square over n, which is 7, and then minus mean square. And the mean is also 35. Okay. All right. So now square root. Okay, I will not straight away give them the final answer. I will write down the sum over 7 minus 35 square. Then next baris baru saya bagi final answer. So let's press. Wait for me, I press 37 square plus 37 square plus 30 square plus 35 square plus 32 square plus 34 square plus 40 square. Okay, I get it already. 8643. And now I have to divide 7 minus 35 square. And then square root the whole thing. Okay, my calculator give me 3.116. 3.11. Okay, 1167. So I have to round off 4 significant figures. So 3.117. Okay, because I write in 4 significant figure. Okay, I'm done with my working. Now we can write down which burger sales are more consistent. Give your justification. So who's more consistent? Do you take the one with a higher measure dispersion or lower dispersion? Mestilah lower dispersion. I told you already, lower dispersion means more consistent. So who has lower dispersion? Double lamb, because the standard deviation is smaller, right? So I'll write dot dot dot. Who's more consistent? Double lamb burger sales are more consistent, right? So double lamb burger, double lamb burger. But we haven't answered the question because the question asked determine which burger sales are more consistent in the market. So double lamb lah. But the reason, give your justification. So because it has a smaller standard deviation. Okay, dalam bahasa Melayu, sebab dia punya sisian PY lebih kecil. Okay, sisian lebih kecil maksudnya dia lebih konsisten lah. Sebab dia punya serakan rendah. Serakan rendah maksudnya dia less dispersed. When your data is less dispersed, then it means it's more consistent. Okay, the dispersion is very low, so it's very consistent. Okay, okay, so this is both 5 marks. Okay, okay, hope you understand. Okay, let's do question D. So D, what is this? Encik Ashraf bought a building premise for the purpose of his business management operation on 1 January 2005 for 300k. So he bought a business, this is the amount he spent. Lepas tu dia buat apa? He paid 10% for the down payment. Okay, I think I can straight away calculate the 10%. Okay, so 10 over 100 times 300,000. Okay, I don't care if the question got asked me to find or not, I just find it. So 30,000. So 10% is 30k. Okay, the down payment. So 30k is the down payment. Okay, we still don't know what the question wants. So let's keep reading. He expects a return of 30% in 20 years. So I think this is the ROI. He expect because ROI is the return lah. Okay, so in 20 years, he wants to, he's expecting a 30% return. And then it says after 20 years of owning the building, he has sold at a price of 600,000. Oh, so he bought 300,000. But when he sold, it's like 600,000. So he sold more than the starting amount. So definitely he will earn some money in return, right? Okay, the total loan that has been repaid to the bank is 475,000. So he already pay back. Okay, because 10% he pay on the spot because that's the down payment. But the remaining 90% he pinjam bank, right? Yeah, because that's how it works. When you pay down payment, it's like you pay on the spot. And then the remaining one, you will pay by pinjam bank. And when you pinjam bank, you have to, they will charge you interest, right? They will charge you interest and you can, but the benefit is like you can pay it over a longer time. So yeah, that's why you end up paying more. If you take 475,000, you can see that it's like more than what he spent. he spent 300,000 to buy the land, but he ends up paying back the bank for 175,000 because they charge you interest. There's an interest there. Okay. Okay, let's keep reading. The other expenses involved are as shown in the table 16.2. So this is the other expenses. Expense. So we have stamp duty 500,000, agent commission 400,000, legal costs 8,000. So these are all the expenses. Okay. Okay. Now they says calculate the value of the return on investment, the ROI lah, the ROI for Encik Ashram for 20 years. And then did he achieve his intention to get a return of 30%? Okay, so let's talk about ROI punya formula. The ROI formula is you take the total return, or you can say profit. Return and profit is like same thing. Divide with the initial investment. Initial investment means the starting amount he spent. The amount he spent in the beginning. Okay, and then times 100. So the formula is like this. Total profit or total return divide with the amount he spent in the at first and then times 100. Okay, I don't think you can use the 30% as information. This 30% is like you cannot use it as information because they are asking you, did he achieve 30% of return, right? So the 30% you cannot look at it first. You have to find your own ROI and then you compare your ROI with the 30%. Okay, so first is we will use this formula lah. So first thing is to get the total return first. So I will write down total return here. Okay. Or you can say total profit. Return means profit. So total return. So at first, he spent how much here? Let's think about this. Sold it at the price of 600,000. Okay. To get the return, you need to know that he sold the building, right? So he sold the building at 600,000, right? But you don't tell me the return is 600,000. No, no, no. The return is not 600,000 because he spent money to buy it also, right? So the return will be 600,000 minus 30,000. Okay. Because the 300,000 is the price he spent, but he didn't pay the whole thing, right? Okay. How to explain? Okay, the price he wants to buy the building for 300,000, right? But he didn't, okay, the price of the building is 300,000, but he didn't spend this, he spent 30,000 plus with 475K. This is how I explain it. Okay, so the price is this, okay? But he paid down payment 10%, right? Then the remaining 90%, they pinjam bank. And after pinjam bank, the loan, the pinjaman bank is like you have to pay this amount, right? But if you take 30,000 plus 475,000, if you plus this, you will not get 300,000. And the reason why is because there's interest. Because the 475,000 is like sudah tambah all the interest. Okay, because you pinjam bank, right? So that's why you cannot take 600,000 minus 300,000. You have to minus 30,000 and minus 47500 because this is the actual amount that he spent, right? So I hope you understand. And also why I have to minus is because you're finding the return. You're finding the return, right? So you sell at 600,000, but the return profit is not 600,000 because you spend some money at first also. So the amount he spent is 30,000 for the down payment and the 475,000 for the pinjaman bank, right? And then there's still some other expenses here that he spent. What else he spent here? Uh, oh, the stamp duty, right? So minus 5,000 also, and then the 4,000 also, and then the 8,000 also. So tekan this, and then you get your total return. So let's press 600K minus 30,000 minus 475,000 minus 5,000 minus 4,000 minus 800. Okay, my calculator gives me. Oh wait, did I did something wrong here? Minus the 475. How many zeros? 000 5,000. Oh, this one is 8,000 lah. Sorry, this one is 8,000. Okay, let me press again. I see that already. Okay, minus 8,000. Okay, I get it already. 78,000. Okay, so that's the total return, but not the answer. I want to find ROI. So now we can put in this formula already. So now my ROI is what? My return on investment would be total return, which is 78,000, divide with the initial investment. Initial investment is 300,000. That's the starting amount. Okay, so 300,000 and then times with 100. So this is how you calculate ROI. Okay, cut. So you left with 78.00 divide 300. Okay, my calculator give me 26, and your ROI will automatically be in percent one. Because when you take a fraction times 100, it will be in percentage. Okay, so now we can answer the question. Did he achieve his intention to get a return of 30%? No. Okay. Okay, they never asked us to write the reason, but I'll write it because he will only return get a return of 26%, which is less than 30%. Okay. Yeah, I think this is good enough, right? So no, he will, because he will not only get a return of 26%, which is less than 10%. And I already showed them the working here, right? So yeah, this is how I would do it. Okay, hope you understand. Okay, let's do the last question, number 17. Okay, Ideal is an amateur cyclist who is actively training to participate in a state level competition. Okay, I don't care. So not important. And then A, Ideal plans to buy a new bicycle for 6,600. Okay, so very expensive, this bicycle. He saves 550 ringgit a month for 12 months. Okay, let's use our calculator and press 550 times 12. Okay, the calculator give me 6,600, which is the exact price of the bicycle. So this guy knows what he wants and he really planned it nicely. He will save 550 ringgit a month for 12 months. And he saved it from his income of 5,500. Okay, so his monthly income 5,500 and he's saving 550, which is like 10% of the income, right? And then it says in table 17.1 in the answer space, complete the SMART concept used by Ideal. So they put SMART here, right? Okay, so SMART stands for what? Oh, by the way, this one is Form 4 last chapter. Form 4 chapter 10, the financial management chapter. Okay. All right. So S stands for specific, right? Specific. So let me tell you where you learn this. You learn this in Form 4 chapter 10, financial management, and the step 1 in financial management is setting goals. Yeah, actually got many steps. For financial management, got many steps. The first step is set your goals, right? Set your goals. And you can set your goals using this SMART concept, right? Okay, so the SMART concept is, yes, your goal has to be specific, it has to be measurable, and it has to be attainable. Okay, attainable means it has to be like um within your ability lah, attainable or like you can say it's like enough. Your saving should be enough to attain that goal. R is like realistic, and then T is, it has to be time bound. It means you must have a time limit. Okay, time bound. All right. So this is what the SMART stands for. Okay. Okay. So the S, it has to be specific. So his goal is very specific. He wants to buy a bike. So he knows what he wants, right? But is it measurable? Yes, because the price of the bike he is like measurable. It's 6,600, right? If the goal is not measurable, then how can you achieve it by financial management, right? If it's not measurable, then you can't achieve it by financial management. So the bike is 6,600. So I'll just write, yeah, it's measurable because the price of bicycle is, he already check the price is 6,600. So it's measurable and it's attainable also. Why is it attainable? Because he will attain it by saving. So we write, but he can attain it by saving RM 550 ringgit a month for 12 months. Okay, so saving 550 ringgit a month for 12 months is enough, or you can say is sufficient. Sufficient means cukup, is cukup. Okay, cukup. Because attainable means you have to explain how is it attainable, like how can he attain this goal, how can he achieve this goal. So yeah, this is enough to achieve his goal already. Saving 500 a month, yeah, is enough. Okay, all right. And then realistic, so saving 10%, yeah, is realistic because saving 10% is like not, it's not a lot, right? So you still have a lot of remaining money for your other expenses. And then the last one is time bound, and yeah, it's time bound because he will achieve it in 12 months, right? So I will just write here, uh, time limit, time limit of 12 months, okay? Or you can say time limit is 12 months, okay? All right, so the 3 marks for this, okay? I'll done already. Okay, now we can do soalan B. Okay, let's read. After having the new bicycle, Ideal bought 2 cylindrical water bottle. What is cylindrical? It means it's a cylinder. So cylinder shape like this, cylinder. Okay. For his use while riding the bicycle. Okay. Diagram 17.1 shows the bottle that Ideal bought. So we have 2 cylinder here. So let's scroll down. Okay, so when you have a cylinder, then maybe they want you to find volume, maybe. Okay, let's see. Let's read here. While riding the bicycle, Ideal carried both bottles of water with full filling in each bottle. So the both cylinder is filled with water, both, and it's full. Okay, it's full. So carried both bottles with full filling in each bottle. After a while, he drank 1/3 of the first bottle. Okay, how can I explain this? So first bottle, 1/3, he drink it already. So let's cut this bottle into 3 portion. And what happens? He drink the 1/3, right? 1/3 mah. 1/3. 1/3 is like this, 1/3. So it's like 3, he drink 1/3 of the portion. So now it's not full already, the bottle. It's like left with 2/3 only, the remaining. And then when he stopped for a break again, Ideal drank 1/4 from the second bottle. So 1/4. So I have to cut my bottle into 4 portion. So I'll just draw like lebih kurang 3 equal, like make it like lebih kurang same size. And this time he drink 1/4 from the second bottle. So he drink the first, this one, he drink until here. So the remaining is 3/4 here. Okay, so the second bottle, you only left with 3/4. Okay, now it says like given the diameter is 7 cm. Okay, diameter is the length from here to here. Okay, but usually when we calculate, we don't use diameter, we use radius. So take 7 divide to 3.5. So the radius is 3.5 and the height is 20, right? So 20, 20, 20, the full height. And then what else? By using pi 22/7, calculate the total volume of water remaining in the 2 bottles. So they never ask you to find volume of water drank. They are not asking you to find the how much volume Ideal drink. They are asking like the water remaining in the bottle. So how to find the volume of remaining? So first, I have to calculate this volume separately and this volume separately, and then plus them together, right? So first, I will open 2 bracket. Why 2 bracket? Because one for this bottle, one for this bottle, right? Okay, so for the first bottle, what's the volume remaining? Okay, let's find the volume for the whole bottle first. The whole bottle formula volume of cylinder, the formula is pi r square h, or in bahasa Melayu pi j kuasa 2 t. J is the jari, radius, t is the tinggi lah. So pi use 22/7, so let's do that. Times radius is 3.5, they give us already, and then times the height is 20. But this is the volume for the whole bottle, right? But the remaining is like he already drink 1/3, so you have to times 2/3. Okay, you understand, right? Because the remaining is like 2/3. So this is how you find the volume of the first bottle. Second bottle, you will also take pi r square h, 3.5 square, and then 20. But you have to times how many? How many remaining here? 1, 2, 3. So it's like 3/4. Okay, because only 3/4 remaining. Okay, because you drink 1/4 already. So the remaining 3/4. And now we just press calculator lah. Just press calculator, then you get your answer. Okay, I'll press this first. So let's press 22 times 3.5 square times 20 times 2 divide 3 divide 7. Okay, my calculator give me 1540/3. And of course, the unit later lah. Okay, the unit later. Okay, let's press this now. 22 times 3.5 square times 20 times 3 divide 4 divide 7. Okay, my calculator give me 1155/2. You can write in decimal also. Can also. Okay, now I have to plus 1540/3. Okay, my calculator give me the answer 6545/6. Okay, so this is the final answer. Okay, You can write in decimal also. The decimal is 1090.833333, so 83 lah, eh? And then the unit is cm cube, because this one everything is in cm, right? So the volume is cm cube. Okay. Oh, not many people know this. The cm cube is ml. Yeah. So if I say 1090.80 cm cube is the same as saying 1090.83 ml. It means 1 cm cube is 1 ml. Okay. Okay. Not many people know this, but it's important to know. So I tell you now. Okay. All right. So hope you understand. Okay. I know the schema, jawapan do it differently, right? Because the schema, I think they did it like they take 1/4 here. And I don't understand why, but I think maybe the schema make a mistake lah, right? Because I do it a few times already. So yeah, I will stick to my working here. I think this is correct already. Okay. Okay. So hope you understand lah. Right. Let's continue. Okay. Soalan C. In the following week, Aidil participated in a 15-kilometer bicycle race. Okay. Time records and the number of participants have been recorded. Okay. So this one is the time and the number. Calculate the standard deviation. This one I teach already just now. Ayo. Okay. Where is it? You see? This one C just now. You see? So the formula is still here. Right? So if you want to listen to me explain the formula again, then you rewind the video to this one. I already mentioned just now. So will we use the first formula or second formula for this for the new question? I think I will use this. Okay, let's check lah whether got frequency or not. I think got frequency this one. Yeah, got frequency. So this is the X, this is the F, right? So if got frequency, then we have to use this formula. Standard deviation equals square root fx square over sum of f minus mean square. Okay. Actually standard deviation got two version, right? But kalau ada frequency dalam data, we have to use this, right? Okay, so first we have to find the mean lah, right? And how to find mean? You have to take the, what is it? I forgot. The sum of fx divide the sum of f. Okay. But if there's no frequency, you would just take this. Kalau tak ada frequency, you just use this formula, right? Tapi kalau ada frequency, you will use this. And what if it's a group data? Because group data, the X, they will give you a class. For the X, they will give you class here. You know what is class, right? Class is like this, 25, 29, 30, 34, something like this, right? So if for group data, then for the X, they will give you class. Then you need to get the midpoint of the class. You need to use midpoint for the X. Kalau group data lah. This is not group data. This one tak ada class. This is not group data. So I don't have to find the midpoint. We just take 25 times 4 plus 26 times 6 plus 27 times 3 plus 28 times 4 plus 29 times 3, and that's all. Okay. Yeah. So I hope you understand why I'm finding the mean. Because if you don't find mean, you can't find the standard deviation later. Okay. Okay. Divide with the total frequency, which is 4 plus 6 plus 3 plus 4 plus 3. And now press calculator and then get the answer. Okay, let's do down here first. 10, 13 plus 7, 20 here. Okay, and then atas here is 100 plus 26 times 6 plus 27 times 3 plus 28 times 4 plus 29 times 3. Okay, my calculator give me 536. And then when you divide by 20, you press calculator, you will get 26.8. But this is just the mean. I need the standard deviation. So standard deviation equals square root. Okay, so square root. And then draw a line like this. And don't forget to minus mean square at the back here. So the mean you already know 26.8. That's why you kena buat yang ni dulu lah. Kalau you tak buat ni, macam mana nak buat standard deviation? Alright, so the formula will be the same like what you write in the mean just now. 25 times 4. Yeah, it's the same. Everything is the same. The only thing different is you have to letak square. Okay, but you have to letak square dekat mana? You have to letak at 25 or 4 or both. Okay, you letak at 25 only. Remember, never letak square at the frequency. Look at the formula. Siapa yang square? X yang kena square kan? Mana ada frequency, mana ada square? X saja yang square. So it means the 25 square, 26 square, 27 square, 28 square, 29 square. The frequency don't square it. And then divide with n, which is 20. And then minus with mean square, because that's the formula. Okay, and then square root the whole thing. Alright, so now let's press. Okay, I'll straight away give you the answer. Right? The jumlah atas is 14402. Okay, if you press everything here, add together, it's 1402. Divide 20 minus 26.8 square. Okay, make sure you write nicely. The square have to cover the whole thing, right? All right, and then now I will press the whole thing inside my calculator. I'll get 1.364. So that is the standard deviation for the bicycle race. Okay, okay, I think I will write minutes. Okay, because this one, the data is about time taken, right? So yeah, just write the unit just in case lah. Okay, okay, so 4 marks. Okay, that's all. All right, is this the last question? Okay, finally, last question already. I'm tired already. Okay, let's finish it. So for the D question, it says what? In the following month, Ideal will participate in a competition that goes through 6 different locations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, no problem. Now this is diagram 17.2 shows an undirected and weighted connecting the 6 location. Undirected means no direction. That is why no arrow. It means if no arrow means it's not a one way. If it's directed graph, then it's one way. One way means like you can only go one way only lah, one direction. Okay, this one is not one way. It's not directed, and it's a weighted graph means there will be a weight assigned to each edge, and this value represent the information. And for this case, it represents kilometers, so it will be the distance. Okay, okay. Number one, draw a tree with minimum total weight. The condition that each location is traveled only once. And then number two, calculate the maximum distance traveled from P to U with the condition that all locations are traveled only once. Okay, so for question 2, they want to find the maximum distance from P to U. And then for number 1, they want to draw a tree with minimum total weight. But the condition is like each location travel only once, right? Okay, so what we have to do now? Let's write down all the possible path from P to U, right? So from P, you want to go to U, there's a lot of ways, right? But if you want to, if the condition is like passes through all location only once, right? Then you have to go P to Q, and you cannot go Q to S, because if you go Q to S, you will get stuck here. Because imagine you go QS, and then you go R, and then you go U, it's like you never go T, right? And you cannot go S, go T also, because it will get stuck. So the only way is to PQ, go T, and then go S, R, U. Okay, that's the only way. Okay, understand, right? And then the other way is like P. Okay, what if you go PQT? Cannot also, because if you go PQT, and then you go U, it's like you never go S and R. But if you go S also, okay, PQT, okay, PQT, SRU, I write just now lah, right? So PQS tak boleh, because I told you already just now, you will get stuck here. You want to make sure you balik dekat U, right? So so I think the other way is maybe go P to R. So P to R, and then R, don't go to U, because you have to end at U. So maybe R go to S, and then QTU. So S, QTU. And I think this is the only two paths that you can go, because there's no other path. Because if you go PR, R go to S, and S go to T, cannot lah, because you go T, then you will get stuck here, right? Yeah. So I think it's like I think this is the only two paths if you want to go from P to U, right? And you can calculate the distance here and the distance here to find out berapa jarak dia lah. Okay. So what is the jarak from here? So let's use the highlight. So P to Q, Q to T, T to S, S to R, R to U. So let's take calculator. Press 10 plus 7 plus 5 plus 5 plus 9. 36 kilometers. And then the other one, let's use red color. Okay, this one is jalan from P to R, and then R to S, S to Q, Q to T, and then T to U. Okay, so plus everything, 9 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8. Okay, the answer is 33 kilometers. Oops, sorry. 33 kilometers. Okay, so now we can do question number 2. Calculate the maximum distance traveled from P to U with the condition that all locations are traveled only once. So maximum distance is this one, right? But we have to write down the working nicely. So number 2, it will be P go to Q, go to T, go to S, go to R, go to U. So I want you to write this in your working also, and then the maximum distance the maximum distance, and we should show them the working. So just now how you get it? 10, 7, 5, 5, 9. So 10 plus 7 plus 5 plus 5 plus 9. So it's like 19 plus 17, 36 kilometers. Okay. Okay, so this is question number 2. Question number 1, I didn't do it yet. Okay, sorry. I straight away go do number 2. Okay, number 1 says what? Draw a tree with a minimum total weight, the condition that each location is traveled only once. Okay, if you want to draw tree, you have to make sure that the number of edges is one less than the vertex. Okay, because that's the characteristic of tree. Okay, so let's count got how many vertex here? Got 6, right? So the vertex memang ada 6. So that means the edges must be one less than the 6. It must be 5, right? But now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, got 9. Your edges got 9. It means you have to minus 4. You have to minus 4 edges, right? And if you want to minus 4 edges, you need to minus, because they want the minimum total weight, right? So you will try to minus the edges yang nilai weight dia sangat besar lah, so that you end up with the minimum weight, right? So which line has the maximum weight? So let's use this highlight. So maximum weight here is 10, right? And then 9, and then 9. Okay, you can erase one more line, 8, right? But if you end up erasing these 4 lines, you don't end up with a 3, because because imagine if you end erasing this line, it means that you didn't you didn't visit location P. Agree, right? Because they already said every location must travel only once. So you need to make sure that all the vertex are connected. So between 9 and 10, you will choose which one to connect. Mesti lah, you will choose 10 to connect. Sorry, you will choose 9 to connect, because you want it to be minimum, right? So then only you can connect to P. And then out of 5, 6, 9, which one you will connect? 5, 6, 9, 5 is the best one, right? Because when you connect 5, then you will get a total weight, and then the 9 you can erase, right? The 9 you can erase. So you end up with something like this now. And then out of the 5, 6, 8, which one connect? 5 better. And then the 8 I erase. The 8 I erase, and then go like this, 6, right? And then 4, 7, I think 4 is lesser. So I want to tell you this is a tree. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You see 5 edges, 6 vertex. There's no cycle, all the vertex are connected, and it's a simple graph. So this is the tree. Okay, but there's a problem with this, because they got say each location is traveled only once. So it's like, because when I first do this question, I'm quite confused, because my answer look like this, right? And yeah, this is my answer. But when I look at the schema, the schema do it different. Yeah, the schema actually do it different. The schema, they join it. They didn't join it like this, right? Let me tell you how the schema join it. The schema join like this. So I use blue color to show you the schema. The schema join like this. How they join it? I think they join like this, like this, like this, like this, like this, right? And if I try to take 9 plus 5 plus 4 plus 7 plus 8, I will get 33, right? Do I get 33? PRSQ, yeah, I get 33. But if I take the red color one, it will be 9 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 6, which is 29. So actually the red color one is, my answer is actually lesser. The weight is like less than the schema jawapan, right? So I start to think about like why the schema give me different answer, right? Then I read the question again. It says here each location is traveled only once. So maybe the question means that you cannot, because if you look at my red color answer, you can see that you cannot travel only once, because if you go here, red color, and then you go here, red color, and imagine if you go here, then it's like you want to get to T, is like you have to visit S sekali lagi, then baru you balik ke sana. And then you want to visit U, you cannot go there. You have to go back and then go there. So maybe I think the question wants it to be like how to say, one direction like this lah. You cannot visit the same place 2 times. So I think we have to follow the blue color one, which is the one I write here lah. You remember just now when I do question 2, I write down the two possible path from P to U, right? There's only two path only, P to U. The first one is this one, the second one is this one. But of course, I will choose the second one because they want minimum total weight. So let's draw the PRSQTU path. So I will draw it here. So PRSQTU. Okay. So this is the tree with the minimum total weight and with the condition that each location is traveled only once, right? The one I draw, the red color one, is also a tree, but maybe they don't accept it because each location has to be traveled once. If I draw the red color one, it's like you have to visit the same location 2 times. Okay, so yeah, I think that's why. Okay, so this is number one answer. They only ask us to draw, right? But I still recommend you to label it, label the weight. So sorry, 95478, 95478. So this one is 9 kilometer, and then 5 kilometer, 4 kilometer, and then this one is 7 kilometer, and then here is 6 kilometer. 95476. Let's check. Okay. This one is 8. Sorry. This one is 8. Okay. So I think this is the answer. I don't have to plus everything. Tak payah cari dia punya total because the question never ask you to do that. They just ask you to draw a tree with minimum weight. So you don't have to plus. But if you plus everything, you get 33, right? But since they never ask, so I won't do it. And then for number 2, I already show it here. So that's the answer. Okay. All right. Hope you understand my explanation. I'll see you next video. Bye bye.